Just right.
Goldschmidt swings and misses. A curveball struck him out.
The Brew Crew pay another visit to the Cardinals with coverage starting today at 11:40. News Radio 620 WTMJ, Milwaukee.
At 9 o'clock, it's 67 degrees, mostly cloudy, slight chance of showers, and a high of 78 today. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, I'm Wyatt Barmore-Pooley. Breaking news this morning, Rupert Murdoch is stepping down as chairman of both Fox Corp and News Corp. The move will be official in November. Murdoch will be appointed chairman emeritus of each company, and Lachlan Murdoch, one of his sons, will become the new chairman. Milwaukee County supervisors are voting today to approve a resolution declaring the county a sanctuary for transgender and non-binary people. However, pastor at Zao MKE Church, Jonah Cameron, tells TMJ4 News there's still a lot of work to do.
People don't feel safe. People don't feel safe in their intimate partnerships. People don't feel safe in their housing. People don't feel secure in their jobs. And so there are there's a wealth of opportunity here to intervene, to create more safety, rather than waiting until trans people are legally under attack to respond by trying to minimize the consequences of that.
Cameron says at Zao MKE Church, they're going to continue to work towards those goals. Hope springs eternal for movie fans and the recently shuttered Downer Theater on the East Side.
In a downer of an announcement, the historic East Side Theater confirming that it's closed its doors. Movie lovers that were caught by surprise, though, may be heartened to know that the end of one era brings the possible start to another.
We would just be absolutely thrilled to see what we can do to continue to foster cinematic experiences and community development and engagement through film.
That's Milwaukee Film's Brie Graziano. She tells Wisconsin's Afternoon News that the theater has and will always hold a special place in movie buffs' hearts.
The way that the community engages around the theater would be something that, is a focus in conversations moving forward.
Mike Spalding, WTMJ News.
Time for news about your money. The WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. All bad. Dow is down 0.5%. S&P and NASDAQ both down over 1%. The NASDAQ down almost 1.5%. It's time for your retirement and investment strategy from a fee-only fiduciary. Go to annexwealth.com, click the Get Started button today. Sports, traffic, and weather coming up next. Citing Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 9:04.
It's David Nason from WTMJ's The Fix-It Show, here with Chris Mancuso, owner of Accurate Basement Repair. Hi, Chris.
Hey, David. Courage, honor, and integrity. That is what I brought over to Accurate Basement Repair Team following my 25 years of proud service as a Milwaukee firefighter. This is the same foundation that Accurate is built on.
As a home inspector, I trust Accurate Basement Repair for all your basement and waterproofing needs. They're not just good, they're accurate. Learn more at accuratebasementrepair.com.
Thrifters can spot great deals from a mile away. And here the term great deal is an understatement. The lowest prices on men's, women's, and children's clothing. Toys, furniture, housewares, jewelry, and accessories. Bikes, books, games, and more. And every time you're here, you'll find something new. So if you're thrifty, you'll find this place is pretty nifty. St. Vincent de Paul Thrift Stores, Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield, and 23rd and Lincoln in Milwaukee.
Ooh, you're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
Start your weekend tonight with a free dinner at the Fox & Hounds. WTMJ's John Mercure here. The Fox & Hounds was recently voted the best supper club in the area. It opened in 1933 and has been serving world-class dinners for almost 90 years in their gorgeous rustic timber structure. Order your favorite steak like the delicious tenderloin Oscar, salmon, pasta, big fresh salad, even the surf and turf. Your second dinner's free. Desserts and ice cream drinks, too. I just had the hot fudge sundae out there. It is the biggest sundae ever. Add a Manhattan, an old-fashioned, or choose from over 100 wines and a great beer selection to accent your dinner. The Fox & Hounds, just off Highway 167, 2 miles east of the historic Holy Hills Shrine. As the seasons begin to change, you got to check it out. It's beautiful. Weekends, maybe a little too busy for some, so enjoy a free quiet dinner tonight. And the Friday cod fish fry is all you care to eat, and it's just $15.99. What a value. I love that fish fry. And the amazing beer garden is super special. Reserve your table, foxandhoundsrestaurant.com.
Josh Donaldson hit a 3-run homer in the top of the first inning. Tyrone Taylor homered twice, and the Milwaukee Brewers beat the St. Louis Cardinals by a final score of 8-2 on Wednesday night. With the win and a Cubs loss to the Pirates, the Brewers' magic number now sits at 4 with a 7-game lead in the race for the NL Central crown. Brewers Cards in the series finale later this afternoon from St. Louis. Coverage will get underway beginning at 11:40. Week 3 in the NFL is here. The Packers are getting ready to open their season at Lambeau Field on Sunday. Green Bay holding their first practice practice of the week on Wednesday afternoon. The good news, Christian Watson returning to practice following his hamstring injury. However, the bad news, no Aaron Jones, no David Bakhtiari, and no Elton Jenkins as the Saints come marching into Green Bay in just 3 days for that Week 3 matchup. I'm Brandon Snide, WTMJ Sports.
Your Johnson & Sons paving time saver traffic just reported a couple minutes ago. A disabled vehicle on Highway 175 southbound about a half mile beyond the exit from 94 east. That's just something to keep an eye out for as you slow down off the highway. And then 43 southbound is a little bit slow. Brown Deer to downtown will be about 14 minutes. That's a 3-minute delay. Everything else is looking good.
Traffic is sponsored by Trees on the Move. From planning to planting, it's Trees on the Move. We all look forward to outdoor living in Wisconsin. From planning to planting and everything in between, now is the perfect time to let Trees on the Move beautify your landscape.
The WTMJ 5-day forecast, mostly cloudy, slight chance of showers late, a high of 78. Tonight, a chance of showers and storms, mostly cloudy, a low of 64. Friday, partly cloudy, again, that slight chance of showers, a high of 75. Partly cloudy Saturday, a high of 75. Sunday, slight chance of showers, but partly sunny, a high of 74. And Monday, partly sunny, again, that slight chance of showers, a high of 70. I'm Wyatt Barmore Pooley, Sighting Unlimited. WTMJ News Time is 9:08.
Good morning, Wisconsin. It's WTMJ Now. News, opinions, Wisconsin. Everything you need to know in the Badger State and beyond. Come give us your thoughts on the Old National Bank talk and text line at 855-616-1620. Old National Bank. Get old. Now here's your hosts, Sandy Maxx and Steve Scaffidi.
And good morning, everybody. Welcome. Thursday is the 21st of September. Now, that day has a very special significance for me because that's my wedding anniversary.
Did you play Earth, Wind, and Fire at your wedding?
Well, probably. Yeah. Was that around in, was that 86? Was it around in 86? You can Google that for me.
Oh, gosh. Earth, Wind, and Fire?
Yeah.
Sure.
Older than that? Yeah. You know, to be honest, I don't remember much about it. It was 38 years ago. I know it was an amazing time. We had over 500 people for dinner. I mean, Italian. Italian. Yeah, it was like 550. Italian families, big families. And the only place we could have it at the time that we could really afford was Victory Hall in Cudahy, which is since renamed. It's still there. And my lovely wife, Kathy, and I had a blast. And as soon as the wedding was over, we started packing up and moved to California. I was already there. She moved with me back.
That's love.
By way of Las Vegas, because we love the city of Las Vegas. We stopped a little bit for fun before we got back to the reality of living as a new couple. But it was a fantastic time, and it's been a fantastic time, so happy anniversary to my wife, Kathy.
Yay, love is in the air.
Love is in the air. Now, the cool transition thing here is she's a teacher. Still is, and still doing some fill-in work. And we're going to talk a little bit about classrooms, and probably more importantly, security in the classrooms by way of cameras. And you and I were talking about this, I think, a couple days ago, and about how to approach this. Because I had a different opinion then than I do now.
Yeah.
And we both were shared a piece from Forbes, which kind of illustrated some of the concerns here. But I did a little digging, Sandy, on this story. So in Texas, Georgia, and West Virginia, they have cameras right now required by law in their special ed classrooms. And it's in a few other places it's being talked about. Now, I also know that in most elementary schools, it's in the 80%, in hallways and around the building. And in high schools, it's even higher than that, 90%. And no surprise, there's reasons why that should be, because if something bad happens, you want to at least have somebody with eyes looking at
the entryways.
Yes, those doors.
But not in the classrooms.
Not in the classrooms.
So surveillance cameras, more security cameras than surveillance cameras.
Yeah, so I was thinking about this when I think I had this in my mind before I went to my listener trip in Italy. I thought, okay, cameras in the classroom. We want to keep kids safe. We want to make sure kids aren't acting up. Seems like a no-brainer. And then I thought about it for a little bit, and I actually started to read about it. There's some significant concerns about that issue, right? So on its face, sounds like, okay, we can see what's going on in the classrooms. Teachers can be safe, kids can be safe. But there's so much more to cameras than just capturing the bad stuff. We'll highlight some of these issues. We'd love to hear what you have to say on this, 855-616-1620. And I held this piece until kids are now back in school. Teachers are teaching. We were talking with Vince and Eric about the football season, which is in full swing and all that excitement. But when you think about a classroom with a camera, what do you think about? Like, what's your first perception of what that feels like?
Well, I think it's like we have cameras everywhere all the
Right?
time in this 21st century. So I think, and people are always recording with their phone, but I get that the school is a safe place. But I would think for the most part, if you had a camera up in the corner of a room, it would not be intrusive. You'd forget about it because if you're a teacher, you've got 10 to 20 little people demanding your attention.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty distracting from worrying about, oh, there's a camera, just how does my hair look? Or, where is the camera? What's it doing? So I think for the most part, you'd almost forget that it was there.
Yeah, I think there's truth in that statement. Yeah, you because it's just there and you just forget about it. It's like I don't even think about it anymore. Like it's just in the room. It's part of all the stuff that's in that room every day. We don't pay attention to it.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm curious, and I know teachers are probably teaching. Teachers that are still working are teaching today. But there's a lot of retired teachers that listen to the show. I'd be curious your thoughts.
Would you want a camera
in the classroom?
In your classroom?
Yeah. And the easiest way to do that, 855-616-1620. I'm going to take a quick break here. We both read a great piece on Forbes on this subject, and it put a lot of emphasis on some of the negatives of this idea. And I can tell you, having read a ton about this over the last few weeks, there's a lot of discussion about this issue. One, obviously the safety one. Two, making sure that kids are paying attention, learning, which is the big focus of education, right? It's not about all the other stuff. It's not about the social stuff, not the sports, extracurriculars, all that. It's about actually teaching and learning. Could those cameras be a boon or a bust for schools? 855-616-1620, the old National Bank talking text line. Join us, Sandy, Steve, WTMJ Now.
More of WTMJ Now after this. When severe weather strikes, you can count on WTMJ's Fleet Farm severe weather coverage to keep you safe and informed.
Tornado warnings in effect for Jefferson and Walworth counties.
I'm on Highway 11 now. For the last 5 minutes or so, it's been just an immense lightning storm.
If you're in Delavan, go to a place of shelter now.
Severe weather coverage on WTMJ. Sponsored by Fleet Farm, proudly serving the Midwest since 1955.
You're just going to have to live with it. That's what I told myself. And if you can believe it, that's what the doctors told me.
Since Andy was a boy, he had health issues, which later we would find were primarily due to his trouble breathing. So for 36 years, Andy lived with about 85% blockage in his nose. He had to breathe through his mouth, because when he tried to breathe through his nose, it felt like he was being suffocated. It affected his sleep, his work life, and his ability to play sports. And he wasn't going to let it ruin his life anymore. So he came to Advent. As bad as it was, his problem required a simple solution. In-office balloon sinuplasty and turbinate reduction. Procedures you won't find offered by big box healthcare. This is Dr. Madan Kandula. It's definitely possible that your nasal breathing problems have a simple solution too. You can hear Andy's story in his own words at adventknowsandy.com and begin on your path to breathing well and living better.
Results may vary. In this market, you'll find Fisher Investments is different than other money managers.
Different how? Aren't we all just looking for the hottest stocks?
Nope. We use diversified strategies to position our clients' portfolios for their long-term goals.
You don't just provide cookie-cutter portfolios?
No. We tailor our clients' portfolios to their goals and needs.
But you still sell investments that generate high commissions for you, right?
No, we don't sell commission-based products. We're a fiduciary, the highest standard of care for a financial advisor. It means we're obligated to act in our client's best interest.
So when do you make more money? Only when your clients make more money?
Yep, we have one transparent management fee structured so we do better when our clients do better.
Sounds like you really look out for your clients.
We do, because our priority is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement. That might be why most of our clients come from other money managers. Visit FisherInvestments.com to find out why investors like you switch to us. Fisher Investments. Clearly different money management.
Investments in securities involve the risk of loss.
WTMJ Now.
The night of September 21st.
85, my wife reminded me on the text line.
Oh.
Otherwise, it'd be a whole different story because my daughter was born in 86.
Sure.
So, we don't want to rewrite history.
No. But as far as history goes, this song, 1978, and you'll hear it a lot today because that first lyric of, do you remember the 21st night of September?
Right. And the cool thing about this song is it still exists at like a lot of weddings. I was at a bunch of weddings this summer. They're still playing this song.
Hey, Earth, Wind & Fire Rock Summerfest.
That's right.
Great horn section. They're fun.
I've seen them probably 5 times in the last 15 years. Always a great show.
Yeah.
I saw them in Chicago at
I saw that tour too.
Ooh, don't get me started on all that stuff. So we're talking about schools, and I guess the basic question was cameras in classrooms, not hallways, not around buildings. That's already happened. 90% plus of high schools already have cameras in and around their building. Grade schools, elementary, a little bit less. So we are both looking at this issue, Sandy and I, over the last couple of days, and how this would be perceived. Some states have already installed them in classrooms, in special needs classrooms for those individuals, those students. And a lot of that is just to make sure that those kids, their needs are being effectively managed, and there's no situations that require extra attention. So we looked at this story, and I'd love to hear from you, 855-616-1620. You've already got a few responses. Welcome to join on the phone as well, 855-616-1620, the old National Bank talk and text line. And I think one of the biggest ones for parents is privacy. These are, for the most part, minors. Does a school, does a public entity have a right to film, record, watch your child, a minor, in a public building? I'm not sure what the legal answer to that question is because they are minors and they are protected. Who has access to that video? And here's the other big one because we know how hackers work. Can someone tap into that?
Oof.
Even worse, especially when we talk about high school, young women, young men, somebody tapping in and listening to what they're talking about, how they're dressed. All those things are concerning to parents. And I think it's managing that question is going to be a big thing. So some of the other concerns that were brought up, teachers, students, that interaction, whenever a camera is introduced that is noticeable, that is obvious, do you introduce a performative element to that relationship, right? Play into the camera is the simple way to say it.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that would happen from the teacher perspective. I guarantee it would happen from the student perspective. Absolutely. Kids would act up. That's what they do. They do it now with no cameras. Why would we assume it wouldn't get worse?
And if you're putting cameras in classrooms for the sake of transparency, you have to be equally transparent with the parents and students and teachers, so the kids would know that there's a camera there.
Yeah, they won't forget it. Paul from the North Shore joins the conversation. Welcome to the show, Paul. Good morning. You're on WTMJ.
Good morning. Thanks for taking the call.
Sure.
I'm all for it. I will tell you, a week ago, my wife was in the grade school, and saw a little girl in our neighborhood who was in the nurse's room, and she was going to just go say hi and comfort her, see if her mom was called or whatever. And the administration absolutely stopped my wife and said, no, you can't go in there. That's the nurse's room. For privacy reasons, you shouldn't even know so-and-so is in that room. We can't have any of that. And now you want to put cameras in classrooms? Again, I'm for it, but good luck. The privacy and the amount of times we hear about privacy and how we need to protect, the children, I don't see it happening as much as I would, approve it.
Yeah, I think that's right, Paul. I mean, just from I assume you're a parent, right? I think you said that, right? Yeah. Okay. So from a parent's perspective, would it be beneficial for you to be able to basically look at your kid's classroom at your discretion and say, oh, that's what my son or daughter's doing. Here's what the teacher's saying. Would that be something, privacy aside, would that be something that you think a parent in general would appreciate?
They might appreciate it. I think that's reaching a little bit too far. I think I would use it in an instance where the teacher called home and said, Johnny or Susie was doing this. They were, not paying attention. They disrupted class. Kind of he said, she said, right? Mm-hmm. That's where I could see it being used. Yeah. I wouldn't hop on like a webcam and watch my kid, in science class.
Yeah, right. See what he's doing or not doing. Thanks for the call, Paul. Interesting sort of side story here. In many childcare places, they have cameras in the childcare areas. Parents can access these cameras in some cases with a code or a password, and they can actually see what their kid's up to. A lot of the childcare places will pass on videos, something funny or cool happened to the parents look what your son or daughter did at daycare today. It's kind of a fun or a beneficial way. But if you're talking about protecting kids, we already have them on the outside of buildings. We have them in the hallways. Do we need 3 layers of security as pertains to a video system? I could see benefits, especially if you have a troublesome school district where there's a lot of issues in classrooms. Could you not capture that in a different way? Maybe an audio recording? Maybe you don't have to have visual, because as I said, I think there's a performative piece of that. You can weigh in on the Old National Bank talk and text line, 855-616-1620. 414, the way parents are with sports, parents would jump all over teaching styles and want teachers replaced. It's a fair point as well. Teachers
We're
already
experiencing that now without cameras in the classroom.
Teachers in Wisconsin feel like they've been subjected to excruciating over-analysis, over-review, excessive legislation. They already feel like that now. That's why I would argue you've seen declining number of individuals going into education. The pay has been brought down. Some people would argue to a more respectable level when you're talking about taxpayer dollars. I get all that. But when you have a problem with teaching, numbers, that's going to be a big one. I can tell you right now, you go to any school district in the state of Wisconsin, they're looking for teachers, especially math, science, anything in IT, computer skills. They need special needs.
Yeah.
It is so challenging. Let's see, from the 773, I wonder if the people who want cameras installed everywhere would be okay with having cameras installed in every room of their house. There's the privacy thing. I wouldn't. I don't think anybody would. Brian joins us from Watertown. Hi, Brian. Welcome to the show. You're on WTMJ. Good morning.
Hello, Steve. Good morning. Say, the gentleman that you just recently finished up with and yourself were talking about privacy and being able to view your child's behavior in the classroom, but you can't have one without the other. You know, if you're going to look at your child's behavior, you're going to see the rest of the classroom as well. It's not going to be just focused on your one child.
Sure.
You know, with that stage. So it's kind of difficult to have one without the other.
Are you in support or no on cameras in the classroom?
No, our teachers with what they're telling us.
Hey, you're breaking up, Brian. Just give us a quick yes or no. Yes?
No.
Okay.
Not in favor of it.
All right. Thanks for the call, Brian. We were losing him there, so I don't want him to hang on if he couldn't hear what we were saying. 414, there are already cameras outside of school and throughout the hallways in elementary, middle, and high school. In addition, as a parent, I have to sign a waiver saying that I know my kid is being recorded and that his image and likeness can be used at any time for school purposes or marketing. I wasn't aware of that one. That's a pretty interesting waiver. And my child goes to a public school. Cameras in the classroom are not that far a stretch, particularly as students become more unruly and events happen to threaten teachers. It's just the next evolution.
And Mark in Hales Corners, retired teacher who taught high school social studies for 30-plus years.
Thank you,
also
Mark.
a teachers union president for quite a number of years. And Mark's perspective is that he would be against cameras in the classroom, and like the arguments made for cameras in the courtroom, it changes human behavior. It's also, to a large degree, what we've been discussing, an invasion of teachers' and students' privacy. I know some people would object to the worry of privacy in general, but tell me, who else wants a camera focused on them the entire day in their office? Not many. Cameras in the hallway, fine. In the classroom, not so much. That's Mark's perspective on the Old National Bank talk and text line.
Yeah, I was thinking about this from our perspective. So when we work, we have 4 cameras in this studio. I'm not concerned about it, but that's 4 cameras in one small room. So is that the same thing? I don't know. Nobody asked if we wanted the cameras. Nobody asked me. I think it's a benefit because it allows you to enhance the listening experience because you can see and hear you can see what your person talking on the mic looks like and how if you're talking about me, crazy gyrating and gesturing, and sometimes I'm too, as my wife says, I'm too relaxed in the chair. So it's a lot going on. 855-616-1620. Got a little bit of time before the bottom of the hour. We're gonna pivot at the bottom and talk about a great weekend in Milwaukee.
You can get nosy and get into about 100 different buildings.
Talking about getting in people's business. There's a way to do it. I saw some signs when I was driving around Milwaukee's east side yesterday. We'll take a break here. Last thoughts on cameras in the classroom. Yay or nay? You can weigh in the Old National Bank talking text line 855-616-1620. Sandy, Steve, WTMJ Now.
More of WTMJ Now after this. We're building something in Milwaukee, and this year is going to be one hell of a monster.
It's alive! This is
This is the Hunt for Brew October on WTMJ, presented by Network Health, Delta Dental, and Annex Wealth Management.
Hey, it's WTMJ Steve Scaffidi here for Heiser Automotive. I love talking about Heiser. I missed my Lincoln Corsair while I was traveling Italy. Well, sort of. I have had the pleasure of driving a pre-owned vehicle for about 4 months now. Matter of fact, we're going to turn it over pretty soon, so I will miss the Lincoln Corsair. What am I going to miss? Great gas mileage, 28 on the highway, 21 city. All the great protections built into the pre-owned program, 6-year, 100,000-mile comprehensive warranty coverage, 200 points of inspection, full vehicle history report. You know where your car's been if it's pre-owned. How about this? 24-hour roadside assistance. And by the way, we'll throw in, a full tank of fuel, fresh oil, and new wiper blades. See what they're doing? Find out for yourself. Heiser.com, HeiserLincoln.com, or go to one of their 5 great locations. Oh, you know what else they're doing? No hidden market adjustment fees. Always priced all their vehicles under MSRP. Find out for yourself. Go check it out. That's why they say every day, today's your day.
Hey, Brian. I think it's time to get serious about new windows and front door for our home.
I agree. It will save us money in the long run to eliminate the draft.
I was thinking more about our curb appeal, but yes, the draft thing too.
J&J Contractors in Greendale have been around for 40 years and have great reviews.
Go give them a call.
J&J Contractors' skilled and certified team uses high-quality materials for all your exterior needs. J&J Contractors do it all. Windows, doors, siding, roofing, and gutters.
Home practice is about to begin. Your daughter's new tap shoes? Loud. Your son's new tuba? Louder. But you got this. Just like Associated Bank's got you with $50 overdraft grace zone. So if you lose track of expenses buying some noise-canceling and sanity-saving headphones, we've got your back. You got this with $50 overdraft grace zone from Associated Bank. See associatedbank.com/checking or ask a banker for details. Member FDIC.
WTMJ Now.
Couple quick comments on the old... Oh, I just lost my... There we go. A lot of people saying this to what we asked about cameras in the classroom. The teachers' union would never allow it. I've seen some pronouncements from the unions that they're not a fan of this idea. It's not going to go away, the idea, because as we talk about disruption in classroom, teacher violence, not teachers being violent, but people being violent to teachers, this subject is not going to go away.
Well, especially as bullying is a huge issue as well.
One.
Does this, would this help keep an eye on kids shoving each other or the kid isolated in the back? I don't know that it's a perfect solution for every school, but it is interesting to hear the benefits and the not so benefits, but the concerns, because the trust in teachers was a really interesting aspect of this Forbes article that got in depth in different aspects of having cameras in the classroom, but just even the reporter wrote, it's glaringly obvious that it's insulting to teachers.
Yeah.
That you're monitoring them.
We don't trust you. Even though you hired that teacher, in many cases, the teachers have long legacies of instruction, public instruction, dealing with every possible scenario, including violence in schools.
So many challenges, yeah.
Drugs, alcohol, cigarettes, poor standards in the upkeep and the maintenance of buildings and classrooms, certainly. So I get the argument that kids are just going to be kids and they're just going to do whatever they want. I do think introducing cameras would introduce an element of performance art. I just have that feeling.
Well, if you could introduce cameras and then have all of us watch the live stream and all of us really respect how hard teachers work and go, oh, that was a tough day at work.
Yeah, you know what? That's the takeaway.
Yeah.
We can all have a higher opinion of education and teachers. They have very difficult jobs. They're not getting easier. The standards that they have to meet every day. I haven't even gotten into the special needs aspects of teaching, which are tremendous. And I have so much love for the people that do that. I've met many of them in my life.
And so do they. That's what drives them.
Yes.
Is to truly make a difference in a child's life every single day.
So cameras or no cameras, let's be a little more respectful of education teachers. I know parents have rights. Everybody yells that all the time. Teachers have rights too, and students have rights. And whether a camera is the right way to approach this problem, we're going to find out because technology invades everything. All right, she's Sandy, I'm Steve. After the break, it is like the coolest thing. Doors Open Milwaukee.
And be sneaky.
Yes, and I saw some banners as I was driving to the Italian Community Center last night through the streets of Milwaukee. So it's going, folks. We'll find out about it from our guest after this.
And a game you can play.
Yeah, a bingo game. I just got my bingo card. See, for the folks watching on the stream, we'll find out about it after this.
More of WTMJ Now after this.
Hey, WTMJ's John Mercure here. Upgrade and transform your current bathroom space with Sidex window siding and bath. The best in the business is Sidex. Free shower door upgrade when you mention WTMJ or John Mercure. They're doing our project. Old tub shower is out. New, beautiful, state-of-the-art walk-in shower is going in as we speak. Seasoned design consultants with 30 years of experience, family-owned since 1988. As a matter of fact, Joe is honoring his dad's legacy with top-tier products and expert craftsmen. It's Sidex, the best in the business. It's Sidex.
When you see our selection of gently worn brand-name girls and women's clothing, you'll love what you find, and you'll love the prices. So low that you won't believe your eyes. At St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores, you'll find something cute, maybe a whole new outfit for so much less. Gently worn brand name clothing at far below retail. You're gonna love it. On Highway 100 at Layton and Greenfield, and 23rd and Lincoln in Milwaukee.
Ooh, you're gonna love it. St. Vincent de Paul.
This Brewers Top Moment is presented by Network Health.
April 3rd, 2023, with the bases loaded and his parents watching in the stands, Brewers rookie Bryce Terrain had a moment he nor his family will ever forget.
Tommy Hunter deals again to right and deep. Get up! Get up! Get out of here! Gone! He just hit one out of here.
Through October on WTMJ is presented by Network Health.
Hi, I'm John McGivern. If you're looking for a Medicare plan with freedom and flexibility, choose a Network Health Medicare Advantage plan. Plans start as low as $0 a month with $0 doctor visits and $0 prescription drugs, plus vision, hearing, and dental benefits. For 40 years, Network Health has been a trusted expert in making health insurance affordable and understandable. Don't wait. Call 833-7-NETWORK today.
It's WTMJ Now.
Hey everybody, this is Maxx and we're back with another joke of the week. What did the wide receiver say to the football? Catch you later. Back to the show.
Oh, young Max doing a little joke for us on a Thursday. He likes to perform. He's talking about performance, Artie. That kid's all about that. All right,
He wouldn't mind a camera in the classroom so he could do some stand-up?
Yeah, he'd love to do stand-up. All right, so this is one of those fun things that I love about our city.
Yes.
Absolutely.
An excuse to explore and snoop around at a bunch of buildings. You've probably heard of Doors Open Milwaukee. It is back this year. And here to tell us what's new about it and a brand new game you can play is Grace Four.
Thanks for having me.
You are the Special Events Director at Historic Milwaukee Incorporated.
Correct, yeah.
This is one of the most special events you can manage.
This
you must
is
work
a very,
on this
very
all
special
year.
event. It'll be the 7th year that I'm organizing it, but the event has been going for 13 years.
How fun. And how much has it grown since it first began?
The first year there were 80 locations, which we really had to spend basically 2 years recruiting and begging and explaining what this event was about. And 10,000 people showed up, which was actually pretty great for an inaugural year. And all these years later, we're up to 130 locations, and we expect well over 20,000 people to attend.
How fun. And what is the concept of Doors Open Milwaukee for somebody who's never done it?
Yeah, so this weekend, Saturday and Sunday, you'll be able to tour over 130 locations throughout Milwaukee totally free. It includes municipal sites, museums, gardens, commercial buildings, churches. So there's a lot of opportunity for people of all ages.
And families, when you have firehouses, like what kid doesn't want to go into a firehouse?
Yeah, firehouses are so cool. MPS Survival Live House is also part of it, where you actually get to practice getting out of a home and practice fire safety, which is neat. And that building is only open typically to field trip groups. So this is the one time that they open up to the general public. But we have lots of good stuff for kids.
What are some of the most special buildings that you really don't ever get access to except on this day?
Yeah. So the federal building in U.S. Courthouse is one that you can walk into, but you can never take photos in there. So this is the one weekend in the year that you're allowed to go in and take photos. And then you also get access to courtrooms, which would not typically be open to the general public.
It's an amazing space, too.
Yeah.
Absolutely incredible. I was there, obviously, doing the Sikh temple shooting. We spent a lot of time there. One of the interesting things, you've got the big ones like Pfister. But I just was at an event at the Women's Club of Wisconsin on, I think is it Milwaukee Street or Kilburn? Mm-hmm. And this is an amazing old building that I had never knew kind of even existed. I've been up and down that street a million times, never paid attention to it.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the cool thing. You can discover these gems from our great city history just by wandering around the city. And as you said, it's free. I mean, how good as it gets.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And another one would be like the Grain Exchange Room, which is in the Mackey building. And that is a private event space. So unless you're invited, to a wedding or corporate event, you wouldn't be able to tour that space. And that'll be open on Sunday to just come in and soak up the beautiful architecture.
Is there a most popular site every year, like one that always gets all the attention?
City Hall is up there for sure. Many of the downtown locations have a huge draw. But I think Doors Open for us, too, is about Milwaukee's neighborhoods and some of the smaller scale locations. And even those wind up getting hundreds of visitors each day.
So do you know all these sites?
I've visited pretty much all of them.
All right, so I'll test you.
Okay.
Orlandini Studios.
Yeah.
No knowledge of that whatsoever. What is that?
He's a plaster manufacturer, so he makes artisan style plaster. So it would be like for a historic home, and he does sculpture too.
Interior and exterior architecture made of plaster.
Correct. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
See, I would dig that.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's in Walker's Point. And Walker's Point really has like an art theme, I would say, this year. So he's open. The Lamers building is open with the Grove Gallery and Team Nerd Press. That's a beautiful historic building on 5th Street. Walker's Point Center for the Arts will be open. Arts at Large will be open, and they're all along 5th Street, as well as VAR Gallery. So if you're interested in art, Walker's Point is a great place to spend your time.
And history, like you're just talking about the Grain Exchange and so many of these historic buildings, and even art and history together with Bayview Printing, where they do the old-fashioned printing press for custom invitations and that sort of thing. You can even make your own at printing parties. There's a lot to be inspired by these different buildings, and I love that you have an interactive map. What's the website to go to play around and plan your own visits this weekend?
DoorsOpenMilwaukee.org. And you can, like you said, there's an interactive map. You can also select your favorites, so you can make your own little list. There's also a printable PDF list, which we're looking at right now, for those who want, something that they can hold in their hand while they're touring this weekend.
So tell me about this bingo card that I'm holding in my hand. So it looks like there's 24 different places on the back of this thing.
Yeah, so this is a new game that we're playing. And speaking of, historic letterpress techniques, this card was printed, the BINGO, and then the little key in the middle, which you'll see this weekend when you pick up your bingo card, was printed at the Bindery, which is another printing press in Bayview neighborhood.
Cool.
So they printed these cards for us. They even there's a little machine that hand rounds the corners of these cards. So it's a really beautifully made bingo card.
It's its own work of art.
It is, yeah. But the cool thing is that it features kid-friendly sites, and then in the past we've had a water passport, but so some water-related sites that are on this card, as well as things like I visited a neighborhood I had never been to before, or I volunteered for Doors Open, or shopped at the historic Milwaukee store. So these are ways that you can get your bingo card stamped at the locations. If you get 5 in a row, then you get a cute little Doors Open pin if you stop into our store.
Which I'm wearing right now on my...
Yes.
Looking good, and it's got some iridescence to it. It's a cool pin. And the grand prize is way cool. You could win a neon Hone lamp.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we have these really cool, another local artisan that makes these neon signs. So if you are a fan of the Hone Bridge, and you finish your bingo card or post a picture of yourself with it, then you'll be entered in a raffle to win a Hone neon lamp.
What a fun way to enjoy and experience the city. And I think this is one of those times where, you don't go downtown sometimes to enjoy tourist spots, I say in air quotes, because you don't have somebody in town or there's not a reason to go. This is one of those great reasons to go and get kind of backstage at these buildings during Doors Open Milwaukee.
Absolutely.
I noticed that our friends at Grave, who are upstairs here at 3rd Street, they're opening doors. The CEO, John Kissinger, who I know very well, has opened his doors.
Yeah, and that'll be their first time participating, as well as Myad Art Gallery, which is in the same building as well.
And Grave may not sound glamorous. They have a beautiful atrium space that they have incorporated artwork of birds and woodwork. It's a beautiful space that we look at from down in 3rd Street Market Hall. You can look up and see it. But yeah, to get to tour Grafe, that just in itself will be inspiring and pretty.
A couple other ones that I noticed. Zimmerman Architectural Studios. I've been there a few times. Awesome space. Next Act Theater, awesome. Your old... Well, you're kind of your haunts, PBS.
Milwaukee PBS is on there, as is Bryant's Cocktail Lounge.
Yes, Bryant's and At Random. So if you're
At Random,
if you need a cocktail this weekend, that's your spot.
Are they going to turn on the lights at Random? That's what I want to know.
No, definitely not.
Don't give away any of the mystique or the glamour. But so really fun for the family and fun for adults, and a chance to snoop around and all those buildings that you've gone by. What's the building? The III building, like at 27th in Wisconsin. You know what I'm talking about with the camels out front? Yeah.
They are not open this year. Typically they are, but that's a wonderful building as well.
You can still take a picture with the concrete camels out front.
Absolutely, yeah.
On your way to a different spot.
Right, definitely.
But yeah, getting inside hotels and an excuse to get to America's Black Holocaust Museum. Again, this is a free event. Yeah. So if there are museums that you've wanted to go to, but maybe haven't been able to afford the cost of admission, or just a way to pop in and see these places.
The other one that got my attention, the Basilica of St. Joseph. I used to go to midnight mass there. It's an old post office that they basically reassembled as the Basilica. From the post office was built in Chicago many years ago. It is amazing, the inside of it. It resembles in some ways some of the churches that I saw on my last Italy trip last week. Just amazing architecture, stunning views. The sound is amazing.
Amazing, yep. That's definitely one of the most beautiful architectural spaces in Milwaukee.
One more time, how can folks find out about it?
DoorsOpenMilwaukee.org. It'll be this Saturday and Sunday from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m.
And I'm going to just spotlight one space that I think is one of the most unique spaces we have here in Milwaukee. Grace, can you tell us about Retrospect?
Yeah, I actually was just there yesterday.
It's fascinating what they're doing in this space.
Yeah, it's super cool. So they are actually rehousing and refurbishing analog technology. So their biggest deal is Polaroid cameras. So they're the only licensed kind of manufacturer of the old style of Polaroid camera. So they have a deal with Polaroid, and they also collaborate with Barbie with Mattel to make a Barbie camera. And all of these really interesting collaborations. But if you go in there, it's just, it feels they have a record store kind of, and some really neat technology there. And then when you're over there, House of Rad is another one that is a really special art collective space with 50 artists making, 3D art and printing press and all that. So
I encourage people to check out this list. This is an amazing list of Milwaukee buildings and architecture and fun. And the last one that was kind of amazing because I didn't think anybody did that anymore.
Make you proud to live in Milwaukee. So check out Doors Open. Come in for a visit if you're in the suburbs, or if you're here in your own space. Check out doorsopenmilwaukee.org.
Yes.
And plan your trip. Grace Furr, thank you very, very much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Great to see you again.
You too.
You're listening to WTMJ Now.
Sandy and Steve will be back after this.
What's the way to build your wealth?
While going over a new client's statements from one of the big financial firms, I was floored when I read that firm does not offer tax or estate planning advice. Because we know that saving money for our clients on their taxes, legally and well within the law, can make a huge difference in their financial plan. If you want to wisely build your wealth, it is my firm opinion that without a comprehensive approach, you're going to be at a big disadvantage. At Financial Strategies, Inc., we're taking a deep dive and creating comprehensive strategies that develop your retirement, investment, and your tax and estate planning. And all under a fee-only structure that means the success we care about most is yours. I'm Jim Cantrell, and I believe we can show you a wiser way to build your wealth. So go to financialstrategiesinc.com and schedule a no-cost consultation.
Financial strategies, a wiser way to build your wealth.
Here's a penny for your thoughts. There's about 11,000 tire-related crashes every year.
Mostly due to driving around on underinflated, beat-up, worn-out tires with low tread.
A couple of clicks at richlands.com will get you scheduled for a free tire tread test.
But if you're pressed for time, there's an old trick we use in the tire industry that'll tell you if you need tires.
And that's free, too.
My dad showed me, who learned it from his dad, who learned it from someone else way back in 1964.
Ah, yes. The old penny test.
Yep, just place a penny swinging head first
As in upside down.
into the groove of your tire. Now, if you can see the top of Lincoln's head, you're due for tires.
And hey, if the free paint test frazzles you, book an appointment at richlawns.com.
If your tires are good,
No harm, no foul, because it won't cost you a penny. Be safe, buckle up, and hang. Always make sure you've got good tread in your tires. I'm Brett Matchke with Rich Lawns. You're
due for service.
Such a refreshing change. Rich Lawns.
Breakthroughs aren't just for medical journals. They're to help people hold their grandbabies for the first time. Expertise isn't just for awards or recognition. It can be what gives people the best chance to walk again. At the Froedtert and the Medical College of Wisconsin Health Network, people are the driving force behind everything we do. So we never lose sight of what's important. And we never forget who it's for. Because in the end, we're people helping people. That means every breakthrough, every clinical study, every interaction is to help people like you, your family, and your neighbors be the best they can be. We do everything possible because we see everything possible in you. To find out how compassion motivates world-class care, visit Froedtert.com.
WTMJ Now.
Open Doors Milwaukee this weekend, Saturday and Sunday, and that was a great interview because I just learned, whenever I learn something about this great city we work in and many of you live in, it's a great day. And there's some incredible architecture.
Yes.
And that, I think it was retrospect, that
Yes.
blew me. I had no idea about what they were doing. It
was a story we researched for Milwaukee PBS's The Arts page, and to find out that you can refurbish old technology. They were even refurbishing old Walkman cassette players.
It's incredible.
So, yeah, a lot of creativity there. If you can search for doorsopenmilwaukee.org, and they've got an interactive map, and they even have self-guided tour apps. So,
yeah,
no
have
reason
fun.
not to, get out and explore.
All right, so I wanted to just circle back. We had some great texts. We had great calls as well on our conversation about cameras in the classroom. From the 262, I hadn't thought about this, but this is a good one. My wife and both children are public school teachers, including MPS. I have not asked about cameras in the classroom, but they did not mind doing teaching remotely via video, and my daughter's working on her master's degree via Zoom. Seems to be same, but not necessary, teaching the video over video during COVID. Is that the same thing? Your teachers, I'm sure all that was recorded, right? They're teaching.
It's different than being recorded in action in a group setting, don't you think?
Well, the teachers by themselves and the kids were by themselves. So there's all those individual sites, but you can see what's happening. And I remember back when my wife was doing this as a former high school teacher, that there's times when even that gets a little crazy because the kids can respond. So I mean, I think the point is valid. There's a lot of open questions about this technology, but as I said, 90+% of high schools already have cameras in and around the building, not all in classrooms. 3 states that I could find, including Texas, have cameras in classrooms, in special needs classrooms. So that's a reality. Other states are looking to legislate that activity. And we know this, classrooms have dealt with bullying forever. And there was often a conversation about putting a class or a camera outside a bathroom door to see who goes in, who goes out, how long they're in there. Is that an invasion of privacy? It's not in the bathroom per se, but you can certainly see who's going in and coming out. And if an activity happens, you at least have a record of when those things are going
and this
on.
used to just be hall monitors.
Yeah, right.
I remember we had hall monitors, and
yeah, we did too.
It's like that prevented some things, and it was human interaction to prevent, like, hey, knock it off. 1 or 2 of those, an adult telling you, hey, knock it off.
Yeah, and
might be more effective than a surveillance camera.
Yeah, you typically listen. Maybe this leads to the rise or the return of not so much technology, but tradition, where you have retired law enforcement officer, kind of a new take on the, I'm missing the term.
I don't know.
School resource officers. Thanks for being patient.
I just didn't know where you were going.
Yeah, so a new take on that, new spin on that. Or maybe you have ex-military people, veterans, who may want to help keep kids and schools safe. And here's another one, financially. Would it be cheaper to do that than install high-tech cameras? I don't know, maybe. You're paying those people an hourly wage. A lot of questions circling this. We'll get circling around this conversation. It's not going away. It's a hot topic nationally. As I said, states now looking at this as another way to kind of keep track of what's going on in schools. Parents have been empowered in ways they've never been empowered before. Most of that post-COVID, because that really what saw the rise of that actual interaction between parents and school boards, school districts, teachers, students. So a work in progress, a story to be determined where it's going to go in the future, all coming up in education around this country. We'll take a break here. Last break before we get to the top of the hour. We got a great 10 o'clock hour as well. Cannot wait to get to these stories. A serious topic, but one that's worth exploring on this special day.
And I think that this topic affects a lot of people.
Absolutely. Join us in the conversation. 855-616-1620. You're listening, of course, Sandy and Steve on WTMJ Now.
More of WTMJ Now after this. Goldie Schmidt is going to find that these pitches won't be too high, not too low, but just right.
Burns deals. Goldschmidt swings and misses. A curveball struck him out.
The Brew Crew pay another visit to the Cardinals with our Brewers Radio Network coverage presented by American Family Insurance. Starting today at 11:40. We are the home of your Milwaukee Brewers. 620 WTMJ.
And that we live happily ever after.
Hey, this is Steve Scaffidi for Annex Wealth Management. When it comes to retirement, asking how am I doing is important, but if you're also wondering what you might be missing, that could be just as important. It's time to talk with Annex Wealth Management. Annex is a fee-only fiduciary. It's about you, not commissions. Take full advantage of the CFPs, CFAs, CPAs, PhDs, and attorneys that are on staff and part of your team working on investment, retirement, estate, and tax planning. No one is the same. Annex gets that. You might need help with your Social Security strategy. How about 401k options? Pension plan guidance, annuity analysis. When you're a client of Annex, help is only a visit or a quick phone call away. You won't be sent to a call center 5 states away. No, sir. They will meet your needs when it comes to your financial planning. Check out Money Talk, the Annex Wealth Management Show, every Saturday morning at 10 right here on WTMJ. Also, Dave Spano joins us on WTMJ Now every Monday at 10:35. Take action. Know the difference. Start at annexwealth.com.
My husband and I had a sleep divorce. My snoring was so loud, it forced him onto the living room couch. I loved Advent. The procedure was only about 20 minutes. I am not snoring anymore.
Results may vary.
Change your grocery game plan to locally owned Century Foods, home of the best meat, freshest produce, and tastiest treats. Now through Wednesday, save on 11 to 13.7 ounce or 12 count selected varieties Kellogg's Club Crackers or Pop-Tarts, 2 for $7. 2-liter bottles selected varieties Super Chill Soda, 4 for $5. 64-ounce bottles selected varieties Old Orchard Juice, 2 for $4. 6 count selected varieties Outshine Bars, $3.99.
Let's see, spices, cardamom, hibiscus powder. It's like looking at Green Bay's roster right now. I don't recognize it, but I'll learn to love it.
Attention Century shoppers. You're going to love this opportunity. Win 2 tickets to see Green Bay play Kansas City on December 3rd. Autographed Packers footballs or 4 packs of Hall of Fame tickets.
I'd love to see Green Bay's new QB in action and win those tickets. What do I do?
Find the weekly code on Century's Facebook or Instagram and enter to win.
Love it. Getting the Century code on Insta right now.
Ends November 14th.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station. It's WTMJ Now.
1, 2, 1, 2. I'm Sandy Maxx, Steve Scaffidi, WTMJ Now, and every day this week you have been getting a chance to win free concert tickets to see this band, Barbaro. They are performing next Friday, September 29th at the Cedarburg Performing Arts Center. And the cool thing about it is Kyle Shelstead, who you hear singing there and playing guitar, he's a Cedarburg native.
Very cool.
Coming back home.
Love their sound.
Want to win free tickets? This is your chance to call in the Old National Bank talk and text line 855-616-1620. What caller, Steve?
Caller number 8.
Caller 8 at 855-616-1620 wins a pair of tickets to see Barbaro September 29th at the Cedarburg PAC. They've got a new album coming out, too. So you get to hear new music and the cool tunes of bluegrass, jazz, and chamber music fusion there. chamber music fusion.
I see myself sitting back, just kind of chilling, maybe having a glass of wine to this music. That's how I would take it in. But somebody's going to win these tickets. I see the phone lines heating up there.
Good.
All right, so we are going to transition after the news to a serious topic, and one that, as you said, Sandy, before the break, touches everybody's life. I have family members. We're going to bring in one of our teammates here at Good Karma who's dealt with this recently, and that's Alzheimer's.
It's World Alzheimer's Day today, and I think it's one of those diseases where what are those early symptoms? You know, we all joke around about, wait a minute, I can't remember that person's name. Oh no, am I getting senile? Am I getting forgetful? What really are those warning signs? So we're going to hear from one of our WTMJ teammates who's got firsthand experience with his dad, and to see that what the disease does, and it kind of steals your family member or your friend away from you in real time. So that's can be very tough. So not only hearing those powerful stories, but also we'll be talking with Alzheimer's Association Wisconsin Chapter Executive Director David Grams on some of the progress, the hope that is happening to fight this disease and find treatments.
Yeah, and losing one's memory, losing one's ability to understand or appreciate those family members, relatives, neighbors, whoever it is one of the most tragic things in life. So it's a serious topic. We're going to dig into it, as Sandy said, with one of our teammates, and then David Grams will join us. Join us in this really important conversation on World Alzheimer's Day.
We care about your experiences, too.
Yeah, weigh in, 855-616-1620. We'd love to hear from you. The news is next on WTMJ.
More of WTMJ Now after this.
Alleviate your pain, rejuvenate your life.
Rejuvenex Arthritis Clinics are in-network with most major insurance plans, including Medicare and Medicaid, and there have been thousands of patients that have received our pain relief treatment with zero out-of-pocket expense. Our FDA-approved treatments we'll use to remedy your pain are precisely guided to its root, to provide inflammation and cushioning relief to alleviate pain. What ends up happening is you begin on a pain maintenance plan, and how committed you want to be to alleviating your pain is up to you. But at the least, you can see us semi-annually to annually to, in many cases, significantly reduce pain in hips, shoulders, elbows, and knees. I'm Richard Salinas, registered nurse with Rejuvenex Arthritis Pain Clinics. We can alleviate your pain, and that'll rejuvenate your life. It's pain relief, really. Go to rejuvenex.com to request your appointment.
Rejuvenex. Alleviate your pain, rejuvenate your life.
Goldie Schmidt is going to find that these pitches won't be too high, not too low, but just right.
Goldschmidt swings and misses. A curveball struck him out.
The Brew Crew pay another visit to the Cardinals with coverage starting today at 11:40. News Radio 620 WTMJ Milwaukee.
10 o'clock, cloudy. There is a slight chance for rain later on today, going up to a high of 78 degrees. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, I'm Eric Bilstead. An emergency meeting is going to take place in Franklin, where the mayor and others trying to figure out what to do with potential noise issues from the Rock Sports Complex. Some residents in Franklin complaining of the noise coming from the complex. Milwaukee County Supervisor Patty Logsdon says the athletic club has made a habit of violating noise ordinances. She tells TMJ4 News it's taking a toll on her constituents.
They reach out to me every weekend. I get phone calls. Supervisor, would you come by our house and listen to what we listen to? Just experience what we're going through.
Logsdon says she's working on a resolution to urge the county to take action on the matter. A resolution going to be voted on today that would make Milwaukee County a sanctuary county for transgender and non-binary people. But Pastor at Zao Milwaukee Church Cameron Overton tells TMJ4 News a resolution or no, there's still a lot of work to do.
Over the last year, we here at Zao have literally held vigils for multiple black trans women who have been murdered.
The Milwaukee County Board of Supervisors is expected to vote on that resolution at some point later this morning. Ukrainian President Zelensky holding a meeting with a bipartisan group of House lawmakers right now on Capitol Hill, hoping to appeal to additional aid It's something that Speaker Kevin McCarthy appeared reluctant to approve. More from ABC's Jay O'Brien.
Speaker McCarthy was just walking through this hallway just moments ago as that meeting broke up. I asked him how the meeting went. He said very well. Then I asked him what he heard specifically from the Ukrainian president, and he didn't answer that question. He didn't stop to talk to us here. But he said the meeting went well. So the question then becomes, can Zelensky change enough minds here in the House on Capitol Hill to clear road for further Ukrainian aid?
Back here at home, hope springs eternal for film fans and the recently shuttered Downer movie theater on Milwaukee's East Side.
In a downer of an announcement, the historic East Side Theater confirming that it's closed its doors. Movie lovers that were caught by surprise, though, may be heartened to know that the end of one era brings the possible start to another.
We would just be absolutely thrilled to see what we can do to continue to foster cinematic experiences and community development and engagement through film.
That's Milwaukee Film's Brie Graziano. She tells Wisconsin's Afternoon News that the theater has and will always hold a special place in movie buffs' hearts.
The way that the community engages around the theater would be something that, is a focus in conversations moving forward.
Mike Spalding, WTMJ News.
Rupert Murdoch is stepping down. The 92-year-old who created Fox News as part of a multinational media empire is going to step down in November. His son will continue as Fox CEO. Sports, traffic, and weather in a minute, but first your WTMJ Annex Wealth Management market update. Right now, everything red on Wall Street. The Dow is down 173 to 34,267. The Nasdaq down 154 to 13,314, and the S&P is down 44 to 4357. It's time for the Annex Wealth Management Tax Smart Planning Review. They'll review, assess, and provide strategies you can use. Go to annexwealth.com/taxsmart. Siding Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 10:03.
Vince Vitrano here for Connect Chiropractic. I've had chiropractic care on and off my entire adult life. I can tell you Dr. Alex and his team at Connect Chiropractic do it different. No twisting, no cracking, no popping. At Connect Chiropractic, they use a special tool for adjustments focused on restoring nerve and muscle function. It's not just making your neck and back feel better, although mine already do. Connect Chiropractic can help with headaches, sciatica, vertigo, and more. Schedule an appointment now at GoConnectChiro.com. Tell them Vinny sent you. GoConnectChiro.com.
Debbie Lazaga here. I've been wanting to shade in my backyard for years, and now that dream is coming true thanks to my friends at Comfort Awnings located in Burlington. It's a local family-owned company that provides expert installation, servicing southeast Wisconsin and northern Illinois. They came out to my house and walked me through the process, from different colors and fabrics, custom fit to my home's exterior and backyard. Right now, you can receive $250 off awnings and screens until the end of September. Call 414-AWNINGS for a free estimate or visit comfortawnings.com.
Get ready. Brewers postseason tickets are on sale September 22nd. Secure your spot and prepare to unleash chaos, make mayhem, and watch stars come to life in the spotlight of postseason baseball. The Brewers moments you live for are coming. Make sure you don't miss a single pivotal pitch or season-changing home run. Get your Brewers postseason tickets at brewers.com/postseason.
WTMJ's Vince Vitrano here for Excel Concrete Coatings, the local, family-owned company that transformed my garage. My concrete floor was all beat up, cracked, broken, uneven. Excel fixed that, topped it with a beautiful multicolored surface, sealed the whole thing tight. They'll do the same for your pool deck, garage floor, basement, outdoor patio. Call the owners of Excel Concrete Coatings directly. 262-993-6950. Greg and Luann can't wait to hear from you. Tell them Vinny sent you at Excel Concrete Coatings.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update.
Josh Donaldson hit a 3-run homer in the top of the first inning. Tyrone Taylor homered twice, and the Milwaukee Brewers beat the St. Louis Cardinals by a final score of 8-2 on Wednesday night. With the win and a Cubs loss to the Pirates, the Brewers' magic number now sits at 4 with a 7-game lead in the race for the NL Central crown. Brewers Cards in the series finale later this afternoon from St. Louis. Coverage will get underway beginning at 11:40. Week 3 in the NFL is here. The Packers are getting ready to open their season at Lambeau Field on Sunday. Green Bay holding their first practice of the week on Wednesday afternoon. The good news, Christian Watson returning to practice following his hamstring injury. However, the bad news, no Aaron Jones, no David Bakhtiari, and no Elton Jenkins as the Saints come marching into Green Bay in just 3 days for that Week 3 matchup. I'm Brandon Snide, WTMJ Sports.
WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving time saver traffic. The road's looking pretty good. 94 eastbound, Highway 16 through the zoo and into the city right now. You're on time there, 17 minutes. 4145 southbound also looking good from Highway Q to the zoo. No issues right now through the roadwork at 43 southbound, Brown Deer Road into downtown, and 94 north, Layton into the Marquette, delay-free.
Traffic is brought to you by Crest Cadillac. Find them at crestcadillac.com. Crest Cadillac of Brookfield, located on Capitol Drive, just west of Interstate 41. Discover Crest Cadillac at crestcadillac.com.
The WTMJ 5-day forecast for the day today should be a decent one. A high of 78, cloudy, a chance for rain later on. Tonight, a chance for showers, maybe even a storm tonight, and a low of 64. For Friday, slight chance for rain again, a high of 75. Saturday, partly cloudy, a high of 80. Sunday, chance for showers, a high of 74. Monday, partly sunny, a slight chance for rain, and a high of 70 on Monday. Right now in Milwaukee, it is 70 degrees. I'm Eric Bilstead, Side and Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 10:07.
It's WTMJ Now. News, opinions, Wisconsin. Everything you need to know in the Badger State and beyond. Now, here's your hosts, Sandy Maxx and Steve Scaffidi.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Thursday show. I am Steve, Sandy alongside as well. And if you didn't know, today is World Alzheimer's Day for 2023. And the theme of this year's campaign is never too early, never too late. Underscoring the pivotal role of identifying risk factors and adopting proactive risk reduction measures to delay and potentially, here's the hopeful side of it, prevent the onset of dementia. And as I learned during the news break, Alzheimer's is a part of that world of dementia. So one of the cool things about working at a place like GKB is we have people and teammates that touch almost every story that we do has some personal connection. And joining us in studio, our teammate Nick Van Wagenen, who went through this story personally fairly recently. So welcome to the show, Nick.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me. It's been a while since I've been down here. You guys have HD cameras now, which freaks me out a little bit, but I hope I look okay for the cameras.
You look fantastic, so get comfortable. I want you to tell your story. I actually met your dad. We had a beautiful lunch with your mom and dad, my wife and I, probably 3 years ago.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, in Oak Creek. And you told me at the time that your dad was part of the Alzheimer's story. So tell us about your dad and tell us what has happened since.
Yeah, so my dad was a CPA by trade, and around the time he was about 60 years old, he was looking towards retirement, looking forward to a life with my mom that he had built and traveling and, doing whatever they wanted to do whenever they wanted to do it. And at about 59 or 60, he got diagnosed with early onset Alzheimer's. And the reason that happened was because we had started to notice, we being my mom, me, and my sister, had noticed that something was just a little off with Dad. His speech was a little different. He had a hard time, coming up with words here and there. Nothing too drastic, but noticeable. And so he went to get tested with my mom, and we got the awful news that he was diagnosed with early onset Alzheimer's.
I'm curious about the reaction of you, your sister, and your mom, but even more curious about how your dad reacted to that news, because that's not a good news day, right? You're being told something. We've all heard about it. We've all read about it. We've seen the stories. We know almost every family has some connection to this story. How did your dad react to that diagnosis?
Yeah, it's tough. I tried to talk to him a lot. He was always a very pragmatic guy. So his attitude was, it is what it is. This is happening to me, and that's that. And he never really gave much more than that. I'm sure he told my mom a little more than that, but he was always just very pragmatic. He couldn't control it, and it was happening to him, and he noticed it. One of his first steps was talking to his partners at his accounting firm that he worked at and said, guys, we're handling people's money here. I don't think I should be doing this for that much longer.
Brutal honesty, yeah.
So they agreed to, an early retirement for him, and that was kind of that. And then just a slow progression for about 7, 8, 9 years, somewhere in there.
So the role of family, as one member, your father, goes through this transition from being, a smart guy, numbers guy, to the impact of this dementia, this Alzheimer's on him. Walk us through that. I mean, as somebody who has to live that every day, I mean, the progression, what was it like?
Yeah, I mean, it was exactly kind of what you think it was. Just, you see him often, so it doesn't feel like every day he's changing, but it was just a slow progression to the point where at the end he couldn't really take care of himself anymore. Speech was almost non-existent. Alzheimer's is weird and dementia is weird. It's different to everybody. My grandpa had it, my mom's dad, and his was strictly memory. I remember sitting and watching like Rawhide or one of those shows while the ladies would go out to, and go shopping, and he'd sit there and he'd talk to me about the show. I don't think he knew who I was. He just knew that a kid was here and the kid was somebody he knew. Whereas with my dad, he still remembered stuff. He could tell me stories from when he was in college and his roommates and all this stuff from back in the day, but he couldn't tell you what he had for dinner last night.
So recent memory impacted more so than some of the older things.
Yeah, absolutely, which led us to wonder, is it Alzheimer's? Is it something else? And the first few years he would get tested, he would take MRIs. I remember the day he got his last MRI, he came out of the machine and looked at my mom and said, I'm never going in there again. He did not like it. And I would say the last 4 or 5 years he stopped getting tested. He was just like, Connie, my mom's name, this is happening to me. I don't care what it is. I know what it's doing, and I'm done getting tested. I'm done trying to solve it. Like, I don't want to keep doing this. So,
was there a sense that there was somewhere to go to get, help from caregivers, medical professionals? Was that a piece of the hope, maybe, that something could be done to ease some of that transition?
Yeah. I mean, there's no cure. We all know that, right? There's every time I'd see a 60-minute story, there's, transformative new pill that they think might help with Alzheimer's. A lot of that seemed far in the future and wasn't going to help him. So we knew that, this day was coming when he was no longer going to be able to take care of himself. It was hardest on my mom. She'd been with him for 35 years and that was her partner. And getting to a point where, she, for her health, she needed to get some help. And so we sought some alternatives for places he could live, places he could go. And that was the hardest part, was him not being able to just be home all the time.
From first diagnosis, and he passed in his late 60s, I understand.
Yep.
What was that time frame?
About 8 or 9 years, maybe.
8 or 9 years.
Yeah.
So tell me about your dad. We know he's a CPA. Leave Alzheimer's to where that story went with his passing. Tell me about your dad, the fun part of your dad.
He was great. He was always my Little League coach, always involved. This is a guy who worked 12-hour days during tax season, sometimes 14. But during baseball season, he always took the time to come coach and come to my events, go to my sister's swim meets, do all that stuff. He was always there. A great husband to my mom. They had a very loving relationship, a unique one. They used to argue with each other when they'd be working on something together, and I'd go, "Mom, why are you guys fighting?" She goes, "That's just how we work together." He was great. He was our rock. He was the smartest guy in every room he was in. Very deliberate person, very reserved. When he spoke up, people stopped and listened because you knew it was going to be something important. So to see him, he was the rock for a lot of people. His mom, our whole family. So to see him become the person that couldn't take care of everything anymore was probably the hardest part.
Nick Van Wagen, one of our teammates here at GKB, sharing the stories of his father. His first name?
Mike.
I had met him one time briefly at lunch. Can't be easy to share that story, but I can see that you're your father's son, and you take the good from that story, the fun parts of I'm sure he was a Brewers fan like you are.
Oh yeah.
So that's
where I got my illness of being a crazy Brewers fan from.
Right. So that legacy continues.
Yes. He has one of my favorite stories of him that I actually shared at his funeral. I gave the eulogy at his funeral. He never missed an opening day for the Brewers.
Wow.
Except for one. Oh. And the one was because he had a client who wanted to meet that day. And the client ended up not showing up. And the client got back to him the next day and said, "Sorry, got tickets to opening day, went to the game." And so my dad said, "Never again." So he never missed another opening day. And since Miller Park opened, now American Family Field, I have been to every single opening day since. So another tradition that I'm carrying on from him.
Carrying on these fine DNA traditions. But speaking of DNA, you mentioned that your grandfather had been diagnosed with Alzheimer's. Your father, is there any concern that you may get Alzheimer's, and have you looked into that?
I have not really looked into it, but it is definitely something that is there. It kind of leads me to live a life of, there's not necessarily a tomorrow. I try not to hold back to save anything for tomorrow, much to the chagrin of my wife sometimes, where she's like, "Nick, sometimes you need to say no to things." But I don't know what the future holds, and I try to make sure that I tell my loved ones that I love them today. I try to make sure that I do everything that I want to do as soon as I can do it, because I don't know what the future holds.
Nick Van Wagen, one of our teammates here, and I've told you this before, you're one of my favorite teammates and a great guy and a great family man. You're a father now, too.
Yes. 1.5-year-old Jace at home. He's the light of my life.
I can guarantee you he will be a Brewers fan because he's already been to games.
He has been to, so he's 1.5 years old. He was born in January of 22, so 2 full seasons under his belt now. He has been to over 20 games already.
Wow.
Yes. Every time we go, people say, "Is this his first game?" They have a little certificate.
Yeah,
we're like, no, he's been here before. Come on.
I haven't been in 20 games.
Well, we have season tickets. We're huge fans. We're maniacs, and he goes where we go. So,
raising him right.
Absolutely.
Well, our very next guest on World Alzheimer's Day is the Alzheimer's Association Wisconsin Chapter Executive Director David Grams, who may be able to enlighten us on early detection, ways to help both patients and caregivers cope, and give us updates on progress, because that must have been anguishing to see on 60 Minutes, like you were saying. Like, it's exciting to see that there are developments, and there's hope. But, okay, by the time you approve that, could you put a rush on that? That's not going to help my dad. So that is bittersweet. But there have been great improvements this past summer on treatments. So we'll get the latest news on the hopeful side of Alzheimer's next on WTMJ.
Thanks for joining us, Nick.
Thank you, guys.
Quick break.
More of WTMJ now after this.
Hey, WTMJ's John Mercure here. Join me Saturdays at noon for one of my favorite shows. It's Experience Wisconsin. We'll check in with communities and organizations from across the state for the best and brightest, most fun family spots in Wisconsin. This week, we are joined by Lake Geneva and Milwaukee Food and City Tours. Going to be fun. It's Experience Wisconsin, Saturday at noon, right here on 620 WTMJ.
Russ bought his first home in Wisconsin with a mortgage from Accunet when today's college freshmen were still in diapers. A few Friday mornings ago, Russ emailed saying he and his wife were ready to buy their forever home. And by 4 o'clock, we were all on a conference call with their real estate agent talking about what it would take to write a winning offer in today's inventory-starved market. And then it happened. They met their dream home face-to-face Saturday afternoon and wrote an offer $15,000 over asking, accompanied by an Accunet property-specific pre-approval letter that guaranteed they could make good on that offer without selling their existing home first and without requiring an appraisal. That's right, no appraisal required, which both the listing agent and seller loved. I can't promise your very first offer will be accepted like Russ and Julie's, but I will promise Accunet can help you and your agent craft the most attractive offer possible. Hey, don't settle for a flimsy, unimaginative bank pre-approval. Get started with your rock-solid, guaranteed pre-approval by clicking on the blue button today at accunet.com.
Hi, this is Wayne Larrabee, the voice of Green Bay football. You know, fans count on me to make the right call every time, and I can continue to do that thanks to Summit Eye Care of Wisconsin. When my vision began to drift, my eye doctor said Summit Eye Care was the best place to go. Using the latest adjustable implants, the doctors at Summit were able to fine-tune my vision. In fact, my vision is now the best it's ever been. Summit Eye Care was the right call to help me see all the action on game days.
To schedule an appointment at one of their locations, visit summitiwi.com.
Get to and from every home game in Green Bay this football season safely. Milwaukee Broad House, Jack's American Pub, and Wanakee Golf Course all offer transportation on game days. They've got bus services with private restrooms and all-you-can-drink packages. Book your round-trip ride from any of these locations and get complimentary access to an all-you-can-eat and drink tailgate at the bar on Holmgren Way. Make your game day experience a VIP experience with your official ride to Green Bay. Visit MilwaukeeBroadhouse.com to book your trip today.
WTMJ Now.
Good morning, I'm Sandy Maxx. Steve Scaffidi on WTMJ Now. News, opinions, Wisconsin's, and sometimes news, opinions, and why it matters. And not exactly something you say, but happy World Alzheimer's Day. But there are reasons to celebrate because there has been progress in fighting this very devastating disease. And our WTMJ teammate, Nick Van Wagenen, just came in and shared a story. His father was diagnosed 8 years ago and passed away just last year, and shared the story of how his family coped with it and how his dad himself coped with the disease. And to get some answers and to get some optimism, we have invited a very special guest, The Alzheimer's Association Wisconsin Chapter Executive Director David Grams joins us. Good morning, Dave. How are you?
I'm well. Thanks so much for the invitation. It's great to be here.
Absolutely. And while we were talking between the two guests, somebody asked the question I was going to ask: the difference between Alzheimer's and dementia.
Sure. Yeah. Alzheimer's is actually one form of dementia. So in other words, dementia is the umbrella term, much like cancer. There's different types of cancer. Alzheimer's is a form of dementia. It's the most prevalent form, somewhere in the range of 70 or 80% of all cases of dementia could be tied back to Alzheimer's. But there are other forms of dementia as well.
Is it necessarily tied to age? Because we always think people get older. One of the things that we talk about is that older people suffer from Alzheimer's or dementia or other things. Is it a case of it's an elderly problem, or is it more than that?
Well, it's really more than that. It's a case where, while it's age-related, the prevalence is more significant as people age. There are people who are diagnosed earlier and earlier. Right? We push hard to ensure that people talk to their doctor if they're having memory concerns or seeing memory concerns in a loved one. And so, the more we can do to get people diagnosed early, they're going to be in a better place.
Is that typically how it manifests first, is the memory issue? Or is there some other signs that maybe we're not aware of?
Sure. Well, I would say whether it's memory issues, changes in memory, changes in thinking, or even behavior are all cases where if it's disrupting daily life, really, we advise people to talk with your doctor about it and with those concerns.
Because Nick had even mentioned that his dad had differences in speech that they'd noticed.
Right. Yeah, I would say some of the hallmark symptoms or behaviors that to be tuned into would simply be if someone is, maybe you're in a familiar place and suddenly the person is confused. They've been to the same grocery store for 20 years, but suddenly they're confused in that grocery store. They're having trouble finding their way back. Also, if they're retreating from things that they love to do, hobbies, social situations, they may be hiding some memory issues that they don't want others to know. So those are certainly things to be tuned into.
One of the themes of this year's World Alzheimer's Day is never too early, never too late. And let's talk about risk factors. What does that mean exactly?
Well, risk factors, I would say there's ways to try and prevent Alzheimer's, ways that we're seeing are really becoming proven in their preventative effects. So in other words, really ensuring that physical activity, staying active, being, moving, ensuring that you're active socially as well, lifelong learning, there's proper nutrition. Those are all things that lead to prevention.
On the moving part, getting out of the house, so you're saying that's tied to maybe better cognitive ability. If you get out and walk and get some fresh air and get out of your chair, that could be one of the potential, not cures, but assists.
It is, yeah. All of those behaviors I talked about, even getting a good solid 8 hours of sleep per night, are ways that you can, if you're going to have some cognitive decline along the way, it delays it until much later, potentially, in a person's life.
The age-old exercise, eat well and sleep well can actually help us in the long run. Who knew?
What's good for your health in general is good for your brain health as well.
David Graham's our guest, the Alzheimer's Association Wisconsin Chapter Executive Director. We'll take a break here. If you have a question, throw it on the text line, Old National Bank Talking text line. We'd love to present it to David. And we're going to continue the conversation. The positive news, yes, positive news. You shared a story with Sandy and I during the transition there about what might be coming next in the treatment of Alzheimer's and dementia. We'll discuss that after this on WTMJ Now.
More of WTMJ Now after this. We're building something in Milwaukee, and this year is going to be one hell of a monster.
It's alive! This is
This is the Hunt for Brew October on WTMJ, presented by Network Health, Delta Dental, and Annex Wealth Management.
Hey, this is WTMJ, Steve Scaffidi for Advent. I had snoring issues, tossing and turning, restless nights of sleep, and that did lead sometimes to grouchy mornings on the radio. I apologize for that. But I did something about it. I went to Advent, quick 30-minute visit. They put me at ease. They're great facilities. They're awesome doctors. And after a really simple sleep study at home, they determined the root cause of my problem: sinuses, nasal passages, breathing triangle. They did a short procedure in their office, back to breathing well, sleeping through the whole night, 7.5 hours, not the 8s, but 7.5 hours of sleep last night, feeling rested, ready for the show. That could be your story. If you struggle with restless nights like I did, take the time to see how Advent can help. To find out how breathing well and sleeping well can make your nights better, go to AdventKnows.com, schedule an appointment today. Find out. Don't just exist. Live your life. Advent knows. When you breathe well, you live better.
Looking to do something new with your savings? Get old with a money market account from Old National Bank and earn a 5.15% annual percentage yield. Whatever you're saving for, Old National is here to put your money to work today. Earn 5.15% APY with our 9-month introductory money market offer valid through September 30th, 2023. To earn the promotional rate, account must be funded with a minimum of $10,000 out on deposit at Old National as of July 31st, 2023 within 15 days of account opening. Learn more at oldnational.com or visit a local banking center today. Member FDIC. Old National Bank. Get old.
So if our mom was looking for a new sofa, what are the top things that you would recommend that she look for in a new sofa?
Ben and Arvid from Penny Mustard Furnishings.
Kid and pet friendly fabrics. Sure. Eliminate spill problems, clean it up. I would say quality foam and made in the USA. We make fantastic sofas in the United States. We always have and we always will. It's an easy way to sort poor quality from good quality.
See more at pennymustard.com.
Did I mention quality foam? I think you did. Okay, good. That's an important one. That's very important to me anyway. And it would be to mom.
It's WTMJ Now.
I'm Sandy Maxx. I'm sorry, Steve Scaffidi. WTMJ Now, as we continue our discussion on World Alzheimer's Day with our special guest, Alzheimer's Association Wisconsin Chapter Executive Director Dave Grams. Dave, you've been a wealth of knowledge so far, and there have been a lot of people, WTMJ fans, on the Old National Bank talk and text line, 855-616-1620, asking about early detection and how to detect. And we got a really interesting text from Lauren.
Yeah, Lauren, a speech-language pathologist, says our guest is right. I agree with her. Anything that benefits your cardiovascular system will benefit your brain function. The main focus of her work is doing a preliminary assessment to see if people have mild cognitive impairment, which can delve into early dementia. And you made that point before the break. You know, detection is important. If you notice those things, and I'm certain that a speech-language pathologist would notice those things, that diagnosis, that recognition can minimize some of that impact.
Yeah, and it's a case where, given some of the treatments that are now becoming available, they're most impactful for people living with the earliest stages of Alzheimer's or MCI, mild cognitive impairment, as was mentioned. So it's so critical to, again, if there are concerns, speak with your doctor. There are ways that they can try to determine, is this just normal aging or is this something more that needs to be looked at?
So you mentioned the date, July 6th, 2023, the significance of that date and Alzheimer's on World Alzheimer's Day.
Yeah, absolutely. Actually, July 6th, the first ever FDA-approved treatment that actually treats the underlying biology of Alzheimer's. Now, this is a moment decades in the making. So it's one of those cases where we absolutely want people to know what's becoming available.
Because the previous treatments were more symptom relievers, not actually addressing the brain functionality of what causes Alzheimer's.
Right. It was a case where they would provide temporary symptom relief. They might boost brain reserve, but they really weren't treating the underlying disease or the progression of it. And this disease, this latest treatment that I just referenced actually slows the progression of the disease.
I'm sure someone will ask, but I'll ask you, and you may not know, is this a Medicare-funded treatment for people? Is it a special cases at this moment? Do you know?
Yeah, actually, Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services that same day announced that they will cover all fully traditionally approved FDA treatments for Alzheimer's. And so this particular one I'm referencing is covered.
You know, we've talked in the nation's history about diseases, illnesses that we've conquered, right? Polio, things like that. Is Alzheimer's one of those issues that we could conquer at some point?
No question. As I said, this first FDA approved treatment, there's others in the pipeline that show great promise and are show even stronger effectiveness. So it's it's taken us this time to get to this point. But again, there's really no going back from here. We're in a great place.
Somebody asked this on my text, personal text. If they recognize something, what's the first thing they should do? Who do they go to? Who do they contact? Is it their family doctor? Is it a specialist? What do they actually do?
I would have a conversation with your primary care doctor. Questions that you might have. In addition, the Alzheimer's Association, we have a helpline that's available 24/7 by 365 that can answer any question, large or small. And so that number is 800-272-3900, and alz.org, also available, our website, available with a multitude of information. And again, there's no wrong question to ask on that helpline.
1-800-272-3900 is that number if you want to call. And what was the website again, the address?
alz.org.
Perfect.
And that website not only helpful for people who are patients or think they might become patients suffering with Alzheimer's, but also good for caregivers. What tips do you have for those folks who are caring for people with Alzheimer's? Because that is a challenge. This is a disease that affects more than the person whose brain is being affected.
Absolutely. Our advice is don't go it alone. The burden on caregivers for caring for someone living with Alzheimer's disease it progresses and it can spiral. And so reaching out and asking for some assistance is not a sign of weakness. It's actually a sign of strength. So we encourage everyone to reach out to the Alzheimer's Association or, again, the helpline. There are master's level care consultants who can help talk through some of the challenges that caregiver may be experiencing.
David Graham's Alzheimer's Association Wisconsin Chapter Executive Director. Thanks for sharing your wisdom.
Appreciate being here.
We'll take a break. You're listening to WTMJ Now.
Sandy and Steve will be back after this.
Is there anything sweeter than the crisp sound of a driver when it connects purely with the ball? Many golfers evaluate the quality of their shot by the sound it makes. You may feel the same about your financial plan. Something doesn't seem, look, or sound right. Think of Annex Wealth Management as financial swing doctors. We'll give you the truly objective analysis that comes from a fee-only fiduciary with no products to push or commissions to chase. If you need help, talk to our pros. Get started at annexwealth.com.
It's David Nason from WTMJ's The Fix-It Show here with Chris Mancuso, owner of Accurate Basement Repair. Hi, Chris.
Hey, David. Courage, honor, and integrity. That is what I brought over to Accurate Basement Repair Team following my 25 years of proud service as a Milwaukee firefighter. This is the same foundation that Accurate is built on.
As a home inspector, I trust Accurate Basement Repair for all your basement and waterproofing needs. They're not just good, they're accurate. Learn more at AccurateBasementRepair.com.
This is the year to buy the woman you love a big anniversary diamond.
What's a big anniversary diamond?
A big anniversary diamond is any diamond that's at least twice as big as the one in her engagement ring.
Why twice as big?
A big anniversary diamond says, I love you twice as much today as the day I married you.
People are always so happy when they see the price we can give them.
Kessler's has wonderful prices on 1 carat, carat and a half, 2 carat, and 3 carat big anniversary diamonds.
People will ask you about your big diamond everywhere you go.
So big anniversary diamonds are the hot new trend?
It began with men buying big anniversary diamonds for the women they love. But now it's gone to a whole new level.
Women are now buying big anniversary diamonds for their men.
Women are saying, 2 can play that game.
I like games that 2 can play.
Everybody likes games that 2 can play.
Welcome to Kessler's.
For the location nearest you, go to KesslersDiamonds.com.
WTMJ Now.
All right, the hard pivots. We're going to talk to our pal Christian Snyder, author, columnist.
I feel pretty.
That voice you're hearing is the birthday boy, Bill Murray, 73, I think he is today. That's right, 73 years old. Bill Murray, actor, comedian, star of SNL. And speaking of SNL, Christian Snyder has a lot to say about that with his new podcast. Good morning, Christian Snyder.
Hey, how are you?
Good. Does Bill Murray, I think I know the answer to this question, right? Because you mentioned it, I think, last week or whenever I talked, not last week, I was in Italy. But you mentioned that, did I hear that you said Bill Murray is your favorite of the original cast? Was that correct?
I think that's probably right. He's, in my estimation, he is the most important cast member of the first 5 seasons, that's for sure.
It's a big statement.
That is.
Yeah. What's that about? Why?
Well, let's look back at what happened with Bill Murray. He missed the first season because he was left off the original cast because it came down to Dan Aykroyd versus Bill Murray, and Dick Ebersol, who at the time was the executive producer of the show, said he preferred Aykroyd because he thought Murray was too one note. So he lost out there. So he missed the first season. When he came in midway through the second season because Chevy Chase had left and they needed to replace Chevy Chase. And he joined the show, and he was immediately great. He had a couple of sketches on his very first show that are sensational. For some reason, a few episodes later, he actually did a bit where he talked directly to the crowd, apologizing for how bad he was on the show because he thought he wasn't actually doing that well, which isn't entirely right because he actually was doing well. One of the jokes he made in there is said, I'm just a kid from a small mining town north of Chicago called Wilmette. Which, you know anything about Wilmette? It is not a small.
No,
not at all.
No.
But so as the show goes along, season 3 is especially crucial because the film Animal House had just come out, and John Belushi is now a huge star and really did not have much time for SNL at all. Gilda Radner was off doing her Gilda Live Broadway show. Everybody on the show was pretty much distracted doing other things. Bill Murray's the one that actually stood in there and did the work and basically carried the show on his back for pretty much for the last 2 years of the first 5 seasons. So he's crucial to the show going forward.
I know that through your podcast, Wasn't That Special? And we'll let you give the audience a chance to find that, 50 years of SNL. Is there a couple sketches or things that he did on the show that stand out to you as just some of the funniest things you've seen as you've watched these rebroadcasts?
Well, yeah, the show was criticized at the time for recurring characters.
Right.
But, that's something that the crowd, the audience, likes seeing because it gives them familiarity. And he had plenty of recurring characters. He was Nick the Lounge Singer, which he started as soon as he joined the show. Where he sings the theme to Star Wars and other kind of loungy type of things. And his patter with the crowd is always really good. He has the Nerds sketches with Gilda Radner.
Oh, yeah, those are priceless. Yeah.
Noogie time.
That's right.
Yep. And that's really interesting, too, because Radner and Murray were actually dating at the time. So they were love interests. And you can really see in some of those sketches how much they enjoy being in a sketch together. They have so much fun. But then in season 4, they actually break up. And they're still doing the nerd sketches, and the quality just drops completely because now they don't want to be in sketches together. And it's really sad. You can almost kind of see it on the screen, but that's a little behind-the-scenes drama.
How long was Bill Murray on SNL?
He was on for 4 years, skipped the first season, and then on 2 through 5. And, of course, in season 5, Aykroyd and Belushi had left the show. So it was basically Bill Murray as the main male cast member. Garrett Morris, of course, was still on the show, but he was having drug problems and kind of lost his mind somewhere during that season. So it was Bill Murray was there to pick up the pieces, and he was crucial to season 5. And had he not succeeded to that point, there probably wouldn't be an SNL today. And even going through season 6, where they had an entirely new cast, he came in and guest hosted in episode 12. And there's an interesting sketch there where it's the cold open, and he's offering advice to the entirely new cast members. And it was just a dreadful season. So he's telling them, just buck up, guys. You'll do great.
I watched a little of that last night. It's kind of awkward, actually, that open.
It really is. The season 6 is so there's Joe Piscopo and Eddie Murphy eventually works his way on.
Yeah, Eddie Murphy's the star of that group.
Right. The rest of the cast is pretty dreadful. And when Bill Murray goes back and guest hosts guest hosts in season 6, you can see the huge gap in talent between somebody who was on the first 5 seasons and that next season with an entirely new cast.
Author, columnist, SNL expert Christian Snyder joining us. We'll take a break, and I want to ask a couple questions, and we'll give the folks a chance to find your amazing podcast. Wasn't That Special? 50 Years of SNL that you, I think you have a co-host. What's your co-host on that? Who's your co-host?
Scott Bertram.
That's right. And then we're going to ask you another big question. Don't answer it right now. Have you ever met Bill Murray? And I'm going to ask Sandy the same question. That's after this on WTMJ Now.
More of WTMJ Now after this.
Hey, it's WTMJ's Greg Matzik for Flanners Home Entertainment. How about improving watching the team and the games this season by pulling the trigger on an upgrade to your TV and audio system from Flanners Home Entertainment? In an age of impersonable big box stores and risky online purchases, there is still our locally owned Flanners, where quality, service, the best brands, and guaranteed best price remain top priorities. Shop Flanners in West Allis, Grafton, and at Flanners.com. Flanners, sound advice at the best price. Just press play.
Hey, I'm Sandy. Maxx, I've been telling you for a while about my friends at 3 Pillars in Lake Country. They have a beautiful wooded campus, and now that we're in September, leaves just starting to turn, imagine 300 acres of serenity and safety along the Bark River and what that view looks like. It's a perfect setting for your retirement, and they're expanding, taking reservations for new high-end active adult residences with amenities like a supper club, a relaxing spa, a pub to meet your friends at, a dog park, a theater, a fitness center, and more. You got a spa and a supper club. That's a good place to live. 4 residence styles to choose from, all those amenities. There's nothing else like it in Wisconsin. They're going to open in 2025, and they're almost 50% reserved. You still have time to get on their priority list. See for yourself online at 3pillars.org.
Hi, this is Wayne Larrabee, the voice of Green Bay football. You know, fans count on me to make the right call every time, and I can continue to do that thanks to Summit Eye Care of Wisconsin. When my vision began to drift, my eye doctor said Summit Eye Care was the best place to go. Using the latest adjustable implants, the doctors at Summit were able to fine-tune my vision. In fact, my vision is now the best it's ever been. Summit Eye Care was the right call to help me see all the action on game days.
To schedule an appointment at one of their locations, visit summitiwi.com.
Hey, WTMJ's John Mercure here. Upgrade and transform your current bathroom space with Sidex Window Siding and Bath. The best in the business is Sidex. Free shower door upgrade when you mention WTMJ or John Mercure. They're doing our project. Old tub shower is out. New beautiful state-of-the-art walk-in shower is going in as we speak. Seasoned design consultants with 30 years of experience, family-owned since 1988. As a matter of fact, Joe is honoring his dad's legacy with top-tier products and expert craftsmen. It's Sidex, the best in the business. It's Sidex.
According to the U.S. debt clock, our debt is over $32 trillion and climbing. The question is, how do we pay it off? One of the most likely answers is increasing taxes. Now think about your retirement accounts. Do you want to pay taxes on some of that money now when rates are historically low, or later when rates are potentially higher? At Drake & Associates, we can help you create a plan so your retirement is tax efficient as possible. If you'd like to continue your education, we have our Retirement Ready Toolkit, which includes guides on retirement tax savings. To receive this complimentary toolkit, call or text TAX to 414-409-9982. That's calling or texting TAX to 414-409-9982. When taxes go up, will you be ready? Call or text now.
Investment advisory services provided by Drake & Associates, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. Insurance products are offered through a separate company, Loft Financial Advisory Group, LLC, a Wisconsin insurance agency. Clients are under no obligation to purchase any recommended insurance products.
It's WTMJ Now.
Star Wars, nothing but Star Wars. Give me the Star Wars. Don't let them end.
Oh, Bill Murray. Full disclosure, I've done this same song on golf courses and when I'm acting a fool. So we're all guilty of being nutty occasionally.
He's an inspiration. Bill Murray's birthday today, so to celebrate and honor that, I'd say a Bill Murray expert. We're welcoming podcast host of Wasn't That Special, spotlighting the full seasons of Saturday Night Live. He is Christian Schneider. And you did say you think Bill Murray is the standout for the first 5 seasons.
Yeah, I think the show would not exist without him.
All right, have you ever met Bill Murray?
I have not, which seems kind of strange because everybody else seems to have. He's earned this reputation kind of as America's uncle, where he just kind of goes around and shows up at random weddings and on golf courses and all these places. So
kickball games.
Yes, I have not.
So interesting enough, both Sandy and I have both met him. Now mine was a very brief. It was at the Cubby Bear, but it was one of those Wrigley Field bars.
Well, sure it was. Of course, I'm saying he's a huge Cubs fan. Of course you met him near a Cubs game.
Also, full disclosure, we were both ogling some lovely young woman at the time at the bar waiting for a drink, and we kind of looked at each other and had this weird look, and I said, "Hey, Bill Murray." He goes, "Yes." That was the whole conversation. So we kind of caught ourselves doing the same thing.
So, but did anybody approach the young lady?
No. I think I was married at the time, so absolutely not.
Wow.
That's the right answer anyway.
The WTMJ After Dark all of a sudden.
Yes. Now, Sandy, you met him somewhere.
I met him. I got very excited because Bill Murray toured with a very famous cellist named Jan Vogler. So Bill Murray, being the creative soul and artist that he is, not only is he, America's uncle and shows up at sorority houses washing dishes, but he also knows poetry and kind of sings off key. But he went on a tour, and I was very curious to see him perform with this classical music ensemble. And he was reading excerpts of Mark Twain and reading poetry and really a storyteller. So it was a very interesting performance. But the Chicago Symphony Orchestra had a VIP meet and greet party, and it was really only $100 for the ticket. You think about concert ticket prices. I'm saying, so for like $100, all of it goes to the Chicago Symphony Orchestra education program, and I get to meet Bill Murray. I'm in.
Yeah,
I'm in.
There's even a picture that exists.
There's a picture, but but Bill, can not suffer fools. Like, we weren't sure how long Bill would be game to meet the fans, so I got in line early because I was with my mom and I was with my boyfriend, and my boyfriend was in front of me, and Mike used to work for the Milwaukee Brewers, so he started talking baseball with Bill Murray. Like, they were literally having a legitimate conversation, like so long that the photographers were like, they need to move, but who's going to tell Bill Murray to stop? It's like, so they had that conversation, and then so Mike moves on, and he said, and this is my girlfriend Sandy, and Bill Murray says to me, he's like, "Girlfriend, how come you're not with me?" And I said, "Well, you weren't available." And he laughs and goes, "Okay, I see that." And so I was like, I made Bill Murray laugh, and then here's what I did: I threw my arms around his neck and hugged him. This is not stuff that you do. And I was like, I'm going to get escorted. And the photographer took a snap, and he's got a big smile on his face and,
it's a great
and one arm around me. So I was like, okay, I didn't mess that up. But I was with my mom. So I was like, you know what? Leave him laughing. Let him sign your CD, say thanks for coming. And I said, this is my mom. Be nice to my mom. And he's like, why wouldn't I? And so we got a very amiable, fun, Chicago-loving Bill Murray. And I was grateful for the experience.
That's awesome. Christian, as somebody who's now studying the show that is, 50 plus years SNL. As you dissect these things, is it as funny as I grew up with the show. Is it funny as we thought it was?
Well, yeah, of course you have a lot of people that say, I liked SNL back when it was funny. And in the first 5 seasons, it is uneven. There's plenty of stuff that you remember, and it's classic for a reason because it's hilarious, but there's a lot of filler in there. And then, as I said, in season 6, it's absolutely dreadful. As I said on the podcast, if somebody asked me to watch that season again, I would go schedule a vasectomy in place of that. So it's terrible, but we're on to season 7 now, and it's actually coming back a little bit. This is kind of where Eddie Murphy takes over the show and basically, much like Bill Murray, saves it once again.
Big picture question, SNL, does it survive Lorne Michaels leaving?
There's rumors about who might take it over. Tina Fey is thrown around.
That would be an interesting person to pass the baton to.
Great choice.
Wow.
I think that would be a good choice. But, I think Lorne's probably done after 50, and we'll see. Everybody keeps saying, the show needs to die. The show needs to go away. It's not funny anymore. But it always regenerates itself. Just when you thought it was dead in season 6, Eddie Murphy comes back and revives it. So I think it'll be around for a while.
Awesome stuff. Next time you come on, we'll talk some politics. But I wanted to celebrate the comedic genius of Bill Murray with A guy that knows it pretty well, who's covering it podcast style. Wasn't That Special, 50 Years of SNL. How can folks find that podcast?
You can go to wasn'tthatspecial.com, or you can follow us on X or Twitter or whatever it is now at 50 Years of SNL.
Love it. Christian Snyder, we'll talk in a couple weeks.
All right, thanks.
Absolutely. We'll take a break here. Steven, this is a busy show today. Stacked, as they say. More to come. We have an early out, so keep that in mind. I think it's about 11:40 for an early Brewers game. We got That's What We Said. Chance to win a $30 Mind Chef gift card. What's on Tap? Sandy's weekly feature that I love. Telling you where to go and what you can find when you get there. And lots of other stuff will happen in the next, 50 minutes or so. Take a break with us and rejoin after this on WTMJ Now.
So I got that going for me, which is nice.
More of WTMJ Now after this. Every hour.
Breaking news this morning, former President Donald Trump now facing a fourth set of indictments.
Every day.
President Biden in Milwaukee touting his administration's investments in Wisconsin.
The news doesn't stop, and neither do we.
President Biden's visit comes amid preparations for the 2024 campaign.
The WTMJ Breaking News Center has you covered.
The on-the-ground visits are a statement of how seriously the campaigns take the state.
News Radio WTMJ.
Buckle up. It's all systems go at Potawatomi. Plug in to high wattage play and you could win an all-electric BMW i7. Play now through September with your club card. Prize drawings on Thursdays. There's a shocking $800,000 in total prizes on the line, including the luxury BMW i7. It's time to electrify your drive. Only at Potawatomi Casino Hotel. More info at paysbig.com/BMW. Must be 21 years old and a club member to play.
Sometimes when you call a contractor, you have to wait months for an appointment.
At Johnson & Sons Paving, we never make people wait.
If you need to schedule an asphalt project, concrete project, seal coating, or striping, Johnson & Sons will take you from planning stage to execution.
We even have civil engineers that are on staff for your professional site evaluation. We do it all on your schedule.
With the highest quality service.
Give us a call, 262-251-5585.
Or online at johnsonsonspaving.com.
When you breathe well, you live better. Find out more at adventknows.com.
Russ bought his first home in Wisconsin with a mortgage from Accunet when today's college freshmen were still in diapers. A few Friday mornings ago, Russ emailed saying he and his wife were ready to buy their forever home. And by 4 o'clock, we were all on a conference call with their real estate agent talking about what it would take to write a winning offer in today's inventory-starved market. And then it happened. They met their dream home face-to-face Saturday afternoon and wrote an offer $15,000 over asking, accompanied by an Accunet property-specific pre-approval letter that guaranteed they could make good on that offer without selling their existing home first and without requiring an appraisal. That's right, no appraisal required, which both the listing agent and seller loved. I can't promise your very first offer will be accepted like Russ and Julie's, but I will promise Accunet can help you and your agent craft the most attractive offer possible. Hey, don't settle for a flimsy, unimaginative bank pre-approval. Get started with your rock-solid, guaranteed pre-approval by clicking on the blue button today at accunet.com.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station. WTMJ Now.
I just perused in the Old National Bank Talking Text line. A lot of great comments and questions about the conversation about World Alzheimer's Day with our guests, Nick Van Wagenen, and the executive director of the Alzheimer's Association Wisconsin chapter, David Graham. Some really brilliant information. I mean, real-life impact from our colleague, Nick. I mean, that's a tough one. You lose your dad. He's in his 60s. He was obviously his mentor and such a connection with the Brewers and all the other things. A brilliant guy, CPA, smart guy.
And poised to retire and enjoy life with his wife, and getting that diagnosis 2 years before retiring. And then the caregivers, boy, what a loyal, loving, dedicated job, but a tough one, really tough one. So the Alzheimer's website, alz.org/WI, is the Wisconsin chapter of the Alzheimer's Association, and full of resources for people experiencing Alzheimer's and also people caring for those.
In and around that story, and you mentioned it early, it impacts everybody. I mean, almost every family has had some family member or a neighbor, relative, whatever it is that has suffered or had to live with this story. And as horrific as it is for the person suffering from it, it's equally horrific for those who have to watch it happen. Their beloved family member who, on one moment in this progression, doesn't recognize them anymore, and that non-recognition has to be stunning and startling and just terrifying
and painful.
Yeah,
that's a relationship you've had for decades, and to see that erode. And I did ask Dave Grams, the executive director from the Alzheimer's Association of Wisconsin chapter. I said, "Is this a silly question? But I've heard that doing Sudoku puzzles or crossword puzzles can be beneficial." And he did not laugh at me. He said, honestly, anything that's good for your brain health is good. So don't be shy of doing a Sudoku, like doing the puzzles, whatever it takes to keep your mental clarity going. And honestly, all the good stuff. Eat right, rest well, and exercise. If your body's healthy, your brain will be healthier.
I think there's something to that, because one of the benefits of doing a talk show on a news talk station is we digest a lot of different sources and news sources. And I think just looking at my own life, and I'm not suffering dementia by any stretch of the imagination, but I find my skills are sharper. I'm more attuned to things. I recognize things more quickly. And I think that recognition that just simple things like getting out there, not sitting and, one of the things I hate about this culture is we sit and watch TV too much. I've actually reduced the amount of time I spend watching TV. I cut the cord. It's not healthy for us. I'm not saying TV's bad. I enjoy watching TV too. But there are many nights now where I'll sit in the same place I watch TV and read something. It's a better use of time. Mm-hmm. And my wife and I are really back into the walking thing.
Yeah.
Getting outside. I know you and Mike do the same thing. You get out and
get a stroll, get some fresh air.
Get moving. These are big things that I think anything we could do to push back against the impact of time, and in this case, Alzheimer's, we should be doing. Hey, real quick, couple things. Political Power Hour returns. Both gentlemen in studio tomorrow, 9 o'clock. Oh, do I have questions for these guys? Woo! Big questions. I was at an event last night, political events, and I'm just going to say it now, if they're listening, Joe, Bill, the rise of Nikki Haley. It's real. It's happening across the country, and it's something that people have to pay attention to. We'll get to that tomorrow. All right, that's what we said is coming up next. 855-616-1620. Chance to win a $30 Mind Chef gift card. Beautiful downtown Hartford. 5 questions that could change your life. If pizza is a life-changing event for you, or other great food at Mind Chef, because it's all good. Trust me. That's coming up next. After the news, Sandy, Steve, 855-616-1620. After this.
More of WTMJ now after this.
It's ESPN Wisconsin's Greg Scalzo for Smart Spaces. How can Smart Spaces transform your business?
Really looking at the entire space holistically. The environment, the walls, ceilings, lighting, flooring, furniture, technology, along with acoustics.
To conceptualize how the end users are going to interact with the room, from the furniture all the way down to the AV, having that work seamlessly within the environment and often hiding within the furniture.
Let Smart Spaces transform your business today. Visit smartspaceswi.com.
Hey, it's WTMJ's Greg Matzek telling you about the ultimate hangout for hounds and humans. It's the Hounds and Tap in Menominee Falls. It's a state-of-the-art facility providing doggy daycare, boarding, and professional grooming services all on site. Hang out with your dog or without and enjoy time at their indoor-outdoor tavern connected to the dog park. Fun, happy, clean, and safe. They even have trained handlers on site at all times. Visit thehoundsandtap.com for more details. That's thehoundsandtap.com.
The place you want to go, Lynch McWanago.
Nobody sells for less than Lynch.
Goldie Schmidt is going to find that these pitches won't be too high, not too low, but just right.
Goldschmidt swings and misses. A curveball struck him out.
The Brew Crew pay another visit to the Cardinals with coverage starting today at 11:40. News Radio 620 WTMJ Milwaukee.
At 11 o'clock, it is currently 71 degrees. The high today, 78 and cloudy. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, I'm Eric Bilstead.
I think we have very strong talent.
with senators.
A Capitol Hill sales pitch from Ukraine's president today. Strong dialogue with senators from Volodymyr Zelensky, making the case for continued U.S. support for his country's bloody struggle with Russia. ABC's Tom Sophie Burridge.
Ukraine's counteroffensive is slow and costly, but we are seeing positive signs that President Zelensky might be taking into the meetings in Washington today. Firstly, over the last week, we've seen the Ukrainian forces making progress in the east around the city of Bakhmut, a hard-fought battle. They might have gained strategic positions, which could be a significant step in that direction.
Zelensky visiting the Pentagon today as well, and President Biden expected to announce a $325 million military aid package for Ukraine to coincide with that visit. ABC's Karen Travers.
This latest batch of U.S. assistance to Ukraine is worth about several $100 million. The White House says that this is going to include capabilities to help Ukraine strengthen its air defenses ahead of what a U.S. official says could be another brutal winter of Russia attacking Ukraine's critical infrastructure sites.
Here at home, community organizers calling for both the director and board at the Housing Authority of the city of Milwaukee to step down after some damning reports.
The reports from the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development finding the agency is at severe risk for fraud and that its bank statements and books are already millions of dollars apart.
One serious allegation after another.
Executive Director of Common Ground Jennifer O'Heir tells TMJ4 News the organization has been working with tenants since March.
We really think that Willie Hines needs to go and his board needs to go.
The Housing Authority saying staffing woes and tech problems are the source of these issues. Wyatt Barmar-Pooley, WTMJ News.
Flooding in the Engineering Center's building at UW-Madison causing some class and lab cancellations today. The building currently closed. The cause of the flooding not yet known, but several areas have been affected there. Still dealing with that. The Milwaukee Brewers' magic number for clinching the NL Central Division is now 4, which means any combination of Brewers wins and Cubs losses, adding up to 4, will mean the Crew will take the Central. Brewers Senior VP of Baseball Operations Matt Arnold tells Wisconsin's Morning News he's not paying attention to the magic number, but he admits they do have bigger fish to fry.
The ability to get in the playoffs is really, really hard, and I think if we're fortunate to do that, I think we'll acknowledge it, but that's not our end goal here. Our end goal is to try to win a World Series.
Now, Arnold did say that if and when they do celebrate, he won't wear goggles because he wants to feel the sting of the champagne. Time now for News About Your Money in the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Right now, the Dow is down 189 to 34,250. The NASDAQ is down 175 to 13,293. And the S&P is down 48 to 43.53. Navigating the markets is back and scheduled for Mequon, Madison, Brookfield, and Appleton. Get set for what's next. Details at annexwealth.com/events. Sports, traffic, and weather next. Siding Unlimited. WTMJ News Time 11:03.
Sharpen your investment and retirement strategy at the Annex Wealth Management Navigating the Markets presentation. What are the headwinds for portfolios in excess of $1 million? Will the long-awaited recession actually happen? And what can you do to calibrate your portfolio? Navigating the Markets takes place in Mequon September 26th and Brookfield October 5th. These premier events are open to everyone. Complete details and sign up at annexwealth.com/events. The American economy is at a critical juncture. What's next? Join us for Navigating the Markets from Annex Wealth Management.
WTMJ's Vince Vitrano here for Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin, a group of doctors I trusted with my knee surgery. The pain was real and options were important. My experience with each doctor was thorough, the appointments were timely, always close and easy access to the building. My mom felt the same way, I know, when she went there for her physical therapy appointments at Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. I trusted their surgical team for my knee surgery, and I know they'll take care of you the way they did my mom and me. Make an appointment at orthowisconsin.com.
The Milwaukee Symphony Orchestra is excited to launch its new season this month at the Bradley Symphony Center with Beethoven 5. Music director Ken David Mazur will conduct what promises to be an unforgettable program September 22nd through the 24th. Bass baritone Deshaun Burton, the MSO's 23-24 artistic partner, co-curated these concerts, which will open with Daniel Kadane's soul-searching orchestral work, Be Still. Plus, Mr. Burton will also be the featured soloist in works by Eleanor Alberga and Franz Schubert. Then, experience one of classical music's all-time greatest hits as the MSO performs Beethoven's searing Fifth Symphony. Ken David Mazur leads the MSO in Beethoven 5, September 22nd through the 24th only. Visit MSO.org for tickets or call 414-291-7605.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update.
Josh Donaldson hit a 3-run homer in the top of the first inning. Tyrone Taylor homered twice, and the Milwaukee Brewers beat the St. Louis Cardinals by a final score of 8-2 on Wednesday night. With the win and a Cubs loss to the Pirates, the Brewers' magic number now sits at 4 with a 7-game lead in the race for the NL Central crown. Brewers Cards in the series finale later this afternoon from St. Louis. Coverage will get underway beginning at 11:40. Week 3 in the NFL is here. The Packers are getting ready to open their season at Lambeau Field on Sunday. Green Bay holding their first practice of the week on Wednesday afternoon. The good news, Christian Watson returning to practice following his hamstring injury. However, the bad news, no Aaron Jones, no David Bakhtiari, and no Elton Jenkins as the Saints come marching into Green Bay in just 3 days for that Week 3 matchup. I'm Brandon Snide, WTMJ Sports.
WTMJ Johnson & Sons paving time saver traffic. 94 eastbound, Highway 16 through the Zoo interchange into the Marquette. Looking good. Should be a typical trip in, about 17 minutes. Heads up 4145 northbound. Right lane is blocked near Watertown Plank right now. Should be able to get through there okay, but you might notice some blockage in that stretch. Looks like they're moving that over. They have most of that. Looks like they do have a flatbed truck there as well to kind of get a car out of there, but they do have that right lane just blocked in that stretch. Should be okay. Traffic is moving through there okay, but just something to be mindful of. Again, 4145 north, right near Watertown Plank. Southbound looking good all the way into the zoo.
Traffic is sponsored by TaybackAttorneys.com. Social Security benefits denied? Call Tayback for the payback. Unable to work due to health problems? Let Tayback help you get approved for the Social Security benefits you're entitled to. Call Tayback for the payback. TaybackAttorneys.com.
The WTMJ 5-day forecast. Cloudy today, a high of 78. There's a chance for some showers later on today. Tonight, still a chance for a shower or a storm. Cloudy, a low of 64. For Friday, partly cloudy, slight chance for rain tomorrow, high of 75. Saturday, partly cloudy, a high of 80. Sunday, slight chance for a shower, partly sunny, and a high of 74. Monday, slight chance for rain again, and a high of 70. Right now in Milwaukee, 72. I'm Eric Bilstead, Siding Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 11:07.
It's WTMJ Now. News, opinions, Wisconsin. Everything you need to know in the Badger State and beyond. Now, here's your hosts, Sandy Maxx and Steve Scaffidi.
Oh, yeah, we got the news, we got the opinions, we got the Wisconsin angle covered, and frankly, it's well beyond that now. So thanks for tuning in on this Thursday. 11:08. News time, 11:08. I never say that anymore. I miss the time. That used to be a thing. Always given that time. Now we don't do that anymore. I miss
Siding
it.
Unlimited, WTMJ News Time.
There you go.
11:08.
All right, so
you can give the time anytime you want.
I know I can. They almost let
Information is good.
They almost let me do whatever I want to do, which is always a nice thing. They being our bosses, but I'm not going to test the limits. Let's just put it that way. All right. Speaking of a test, a 5-question test that we call That's What We Said. Now, Bill from Oshkosh is already online. We need another caller here to play the game. Otherwise, Bill walks away with it. I don't want that to be that easy for Bill. I like Bill, and I appreciate the fact that he's listening. But 855-616-1620. Let's get caller number 2 going here. I know people don't want to wait through that long break, that news break, which I get it. You have lives. But Bill was very patient. So while we're waiting, 855-616-1620. Let's meet Bill from Oshkosh. Hi, Bill.
How you doing, Steve? Hi, Sandy.
Hi, Bill.
How are you?
Very good.
Excellent. So I often wait till we have both contestants, but for those of you listening, tell us about Bill from Oshkosh. What unique thing should we all know about you?
Well, I've got a couple of things. I've gotten 5 out of 5 numerous times, but the one time I was on the air, I failed miserably.
Oh, but you're winning the at-home version.
Yes, which there's no prize for.
Well, thank you.
All right.
And what's your favorite Bill Murray movie?
Oh, boy. Groundhog Day is pretty good.
Yeah, I would have said Stripes if you asked me that question.
And Stripes is okay, and Caddyshack is probably right up there.
Of course, yes. Well, how did I forget Caddyshack? All right,
we
Bill.
We can toast to world peace later, Bill, if you win.
All right, Bill. Hang on the line, Bill, because joining us now, I asked and you answered, Leslie calling from Rochester. Hi, Leslie.
Hi, how are you?
I'm wonderful. On this Thursday, are you living life, Leslie? Are you experiencing everything you need to experience to have a good day, great day?
I am living life every day.
Oh, my goodness, Leslie. Yes.
Hopefully your best one. What's your favorite Bill Murray movie?
Oh, I would have to say Ghostbusters.
There you go.
Those are all the good ones. Everybody picked the good ones.
I think it heard you, Ray.
All right.
It's one of my favorite lines from that one.
Yeah. Now there's like 18 versions of Ghostbusters, and they're making another one apparently. So a kid's version that I saw a preview for. No, stop. All right, Leslie from Rochester, tell us about you.
I own a small coffee shop in Rochester.
The name of which is?
W Coffee.
Nice. So if I walked into would you say VW, BW?
No, D as in Delta, DW.
DW. If I walked into the DW coffee shop in beautiful Rochester, Wisconsin, what would be the item, not coffee, the item, I'm sure you have bakery and stuff, what is the item that you would recommend I have?
Our pumpkin chai latte.
Oh, okay.
You didn't say pumpkin spice, though.
Are you doing that on purpose?
Yes.
All right.
Okay.
We figured.
Sounds delicious.
So we've met our contestants, Bill and Leslie. Now we have 5 questions. The winner of this competition will win a $30 Mind Chef gift card. And then, as you know, if you're loyal listeners, every Thursday, buy one pizza, get one free. Beautiful downtown Hartford. So 5 questions. Sandy and I are going to alternate on reading the questions. 3 possible answers in each one. Only one is correct. I will tally the correct answers. And producer Charlie, in all his wisdom, will have a tiebreaker if necessary. He looks at me all perplexed. So hopefully won't get to a tiebreaker. Bill, you're up first because you were the first caller.
All right, we're just over a year away from the next presidential election in our country. Bill and Leslie, some voters still have some concerns about election integrity. So what did Steve have to say about this? A, we have to bring the sanity of elections back from the abyss. What happened over the past 4 years made us crazy. B, there's one way to fix this problem. Get rid of the conspiracy peddlers who traffic in election nonsense and scare voters. Or C, what did we think was going to happen with the hyper-partisan political cheerleading that goes on every day in this country? Bill, is it A, B, or C?
I'll go with B.
B for Bill. Leslie?
A.
Ooh, Leslie's going to be happy. Play it. And I know we are a country of complainers. I say that all the time. But you know, we're good, decent, hardworking people who have opinions about things. And it's okay to share those opinions. But we have to bring the sanity of elections back from the abyss. Because what happened over the last 4 years drove me nuts. It's made people crazy. And most of us don't want to see that again. All right, good job, Leslie.
Leslie, was it the word abyss that tipped you in?
It was.
Oh, see, I love the loyal listeners. They know it. I use certain words, certain phrases, and they're tuned into that. So, Leslie, 1 up on Bill. Leslie, you're first up. All right, so I just got back from an amazing 11-day trip to Italy. We talked about the experience of travel the other day and what we all learned from it. What did Sandy say this week about travel? 3 possible answers. Only one is correct. A, one of the things I love about travel is discovering the unknown, places you've never seen, meeting people who are completely different than I am. B, the message of travel is a simple one. Be prepared, be flexible, and most of all, make the best of it. Or C, the things that have gone completely wrong, not tragically wrong, but wrong, those are the funniest memories. What was Sandy's right answer?
I'm going to guess on this one. I'm going to say C.
Okay, Leslie says C. Bill, what do you say?
Oh, mine's a guess too, but I'll go with A.
All right. Leslie is, as they say, hot.
But isn't that what you learn with travel?
Absolutely.
Is the experiences and adjusting. And I've always joked that sometimes it's the things that have gone completely wrong, not tragically wrong, but wrong, that are the funniest memories. Like going the absolute wrong way on a train. Oh, no. Okay, we got to get off and head back now.
Next stop, we'll head back.
Yeah.
All right, Leslie, up 2-0 on Bill. So this one is about Monday Morning Quarterback. I wasn't even here, but Sandy was. And one of the cool things that Sandy does to live the Packers experience and to celebrate the Packers games, she meets Packer fans in their own environments. What story did she tell about her latest experience this week? So 3 possible answers. Bill, you're up first. A, there was a couple, both dressed in Packer jerseys, who literally never got up out of their seats. I don't know if they didn't want to lose their spots in the bar or were just mesmerized by the game to the point of paralysis. B, when I pulled up, there was a green Equinox with a huge Packers sticker on the side, or stickers, and I thought, these are my people. I have to meet who drives this car. Or C, as I sat there, I was literally thinking to myself, I think these fans would probably riot if the TVs went off right now. Leslie, what is the right answer?
I'm going to say A.
Leslie says A. Bill, what say you?
I was supposed to be first, but I'll agree with A.
All right. Yeah, I got that wrong. That's my error, so I apologize for that. All right, you both said A. Let's hear what Sandy said.
When I pulled up to Water Street Brewery in Oak Creek, Brandon, there was a green Equinox, Packers green, with huge Packers stickers on the side. And I thought, these are my people. This is going to be a fun place to watch it. So then I was on a mission. I'm like, I have to meet who drives this car. And I did.
There you go. And what were they like?
They were wonderful. Karen is the driver of the car, Karen Miller, and her husband, Ernie. And Karen had a Packers jersey on that was a number 4 for Favre, and it was split 4 different ways. It had a panel of Falcons, a panel of Packers, a panel of Jets, and a panel of Vikings to represent each of the 4 teams that Brett Favre played for.
Wow, that's a Brett Favre
They were
fan.
Packers fans, let me tell you.
Yeah, all right. So nobody got that one right. Since we let Leslie go first, we'll let Bill go first on question number 4. Sandy's going to read this one.
What a thrill we had this week, Bill and Leslie. We got to talk with actor, director, musician, author, and humanitarian Gary Sinise. He joined us on Tuesday and shared a story about Milwaukee. And what was it? Was it A, I picked up a hitchhiker, and he tells me he's a Navy guy on his way to Milwaukee. We got to talking. I was having such a great time. I drove him all the way to Milwaukee. B, everybody was telling me about the beer and the cheese, but the thing I noticed right away was how many bars there were. Or C, I had never been to Wisconsin, but I grew up in Illinois, so when I finally did make it up to Milwaukee, one of my first stops was Mars Cheese Castle.
Bill, what's the right answer?
Well, the right answer is A.
All right, Leslie.
I would say A also.
Oh, you guys are too good. Here it is.
I picked up a hitchhiker, and he gets in. He tells me he's a Navy guy, and he's on his way to Milwaukee. And so I said, well, I'll drop you off at Lake Cook Road or whatever. And then we got to talking, and I was just having such a great time that I drove him to Milwaukee. And I skipped school altogether, drove him to Milwaukee, hung out, we had dinner. It was great. That was my first trip to Milwaukee.
That just blows me away.
It's a memorable one.
You can tell he was really just excited to tell the story.
Yeah, Bill and Leslie, you both got it right. And for anyone who wants to hear the rest of that story and the rest of that conversation, text Gary, Gary. Text Gary to the Old National Bank Talk and Text line at 855-616-1620. We'll text you the link back to listen to that whole conversation with Gary Sinise.
All right, Bill, you can't win, but we're going to have fun and let you play the 5th one anyway. We'll even let you go
You're
first.
on the board, though. You didn't get shut out.
Yeah, it's 3-1. Leslie's doing a dominant job. This is a Sandy question. Has to do with a co-host that we had on the show.
Yeah, on Monday, while Steve was still in Italy, the Visit Milwaukee president and CEO Peggy Williams-Smith joined me, and she was a wonderful co-host, and we had a lot of fun, but I found out something about her. She is part of a league at Holler House. What league does she play in? Is it A, bowling, B, pool, or C, cribbage?
Bill?
What was C?
Cribbage, the card game.
Okay. First off, congratulations, Leslie. Secondly, Sandy, thank you for sharing my message with Gary on the air.
Oh, how wonderful, Bill.
Steve, tailgate party on Sunday. I will say C, cribbage.
All right, Bill says C, cribbage. Leslie, what do you say?
I say cribbage also.
All right, let's hear it.
I'm on a cribbage league. So, yes, they host a cribbage league when bowling ends so that you can then continue on and make sure you're supporting the business. So I'll be there tomorrow night playing cribbage.
That is fantastic. What is the name of your team?
We don't. So the whole league is called the Holler House Peggers, which I kind of like.
You should, Peggy.
Perfect. Leslie, 4 correct answers out of 5. You are a winner. Bill, thanks for playing.
And enjoy the Packers game on Sunday.
And the tailgate.
Will do.
All right.
Aww.
Leslie, stay on the line. You are a great listener. You know the things that we say, sometimes too often in my case. You'll win a $30 Mind Chef gift card and our appreciation and respect for getting 4 out of 5. And it's DW Coffee Shop in Rochester, correct?
That's correct.
All right. Thank you, Leslie.
Thanks. Have a great day, guys.
All right,
You too. Thanks for listening.
great edition of That's What We Said. We'll take a quick break. Got an early Brewers out, so we got to get going. More after this.
More of WTMJ Now after this. Analyzing the best of the diamond from every degree. Brewers 360. Your comprehensive look at all things Brewers, on and off the field.
Swing and a drive to right and deep. Get up!
Hear from Brewers reporters, announcers, and members of the front office every morning on Wisconsin's Morning News at 7:45. It's Brewers 360, presented by Holiday Automotive and Outdoor Living Unlimited.
Be proactive so you're not freezing at home this winter. Your walls are drafty. Retrofoam of southeastern Wisconsin can fill your walls with foam insulation. It's all done from the exterior of your home without any hassle or mess. The entire process only takes a day, and Retrofoam of southeast Wisconsin offers a lifetime warranty and property protection guarantee. Retrofoam of southeastern Wisconsin takes pride in its customer service and efficiency. Get 20% off if you call by the end of September. Just search online. Retrofoam of southeast Wisconsin.
Hi, this is Wayne Larrabee, the voice of Green Bay football. You know, fans count on me to make the right call every time, and I can continue to do that thanks to Summit Eye Care of Wisconsin. When my vision began to drift, my eye doctor said Summit Eye Care was the best place to go. Using the latest adjustable implants, the doctors at Summit were able to fine-tune my vision. In fact, my vision is now the best it's ever been. Summit Eye Care was the right call to help me see all the action on game days.
To schedule an appointment at one of their locations, visit summitiwi.com.
A wiser way to build your wealth.
A wiser way to build your wealth starts with choosing a financial planning firm that is fee only, because it means they work for you. Fee-only firms like Financial Strategies, Inc. don't work for a bank or brokerage firm or an insurance company or mutual fund company, because we don't want our decisions for your best interest compromised in any way. We work for you, and only in your best interest. And fee only means the success we care about most is yours. Ask your advisor, are you 100% fee only for 100% of your clients 100% of the time? If they answer no, get a second opinion. I'm Jim Cantrell with Financial Strategies, Inc., a fee-only, comprehensive financial planning firm. And I believe we can show you a wiser way to build your wealth. So go to financialstrategiesinc.com and schedule a no-cost consultation.
Financial strategies, a wiser way to build your wealth.
It's WTMJ Now.
Okay, real quick, if you haven't visited the X, formerly known as Twitter, the WTMJ Now news opinion in Wisconsin and why it matters. The new polling suggests the former President Donald Trump is in a very strong position to win the Republican nomination for president, albeit still early. Given his legal challenges, who is the most likely next candidate up to replace him at the top of the ticket? Gave you a few choices. You can pick somebody else. Governor Ron DeSantis, currently at 22%. I mentioned this earlier. Governor Nikki Haley. I had a lot of conversations at a political event last night. That name comes up over and over and over again. Rising star. I know the numbers don't reflect it yet, but trust me, it's coming. And here's the kicker. And I'm going to ask Bill and Joe about this tomorrow in the Political Power Hour. Some women, Democrats, are saying out loud to other people they could support Nikki Haley, who, last time I checked, is a Republican governor, former governor of South Carolina. That's a wild card. So that's why I say, and that's why I voted that way in the last election, Nikki Haley. Something to watch. Also gave you Ramaswamy, 8.7%, about 150 votes in. Lots of time to vote. We do a 24-hour poll. You can find it on the X. If you're not on the X, you can certainly do it on our old National Bank talk and text line. We'll take another quick break. Back with Sandy and Steve and WTMJ Now.
Sandy and Steve will be back after this. New rules, same old Bob Uecker.
Time call now. Here's a penalty. Offside.
All season long, right here on the home of the Brewers, WTMJ.
Welcome back to Ask Hasselus.
No! I ask one question, and you pounce and pressure me to buy a mattress I don't want.
But
you're all alike. What are you looking for? Firm or soft?
You know.
Back off, man!
Hasselus mattress showrooms are employee-free.
No salespeople?
And through Monday, get an extra $200 off in instant savings on Beauty Rest, Perfect Sleeper, or Sealy Posturepedic.
I do have a question.
Shoot.
Where have you been my whole life?
Find an employee-free showroom near you at Hasselist.com.
Wealth-changing question. Has your advisor created a portfolio based only on your age and risk tolerance? That's simply not good enough. Your money deserves better, and so do you. At Creative Planning, our private wealth managers learn about you first, and then they create a customized plan and portfolio by partnering with our in-house money managers, accountants, and attorneys. Don't settle for a standard portfolio. Book your free meeting today at creativeplanning.com. Creative Planning, a richer way to wealth.
Greg Matzik here for Holiday Mazda in Fond du Lac. Hey, drive inspired this fall, winter, and beyond in a new all-wheel drive Mazda car or crossover or a Mazda certified pre-owned model. The SUV season sales event is on with attractive financing and other great offers, comfortably low lease payments, and more. Make Holiday your destination to get more Mazda for your money, more for your trade, and enjoy their simplified buying approach and exceptional guest care. It's the stuff that delights and makes fans of drivers from all over the Badger State. I'm one of those thousands of fans, and so is this guy.
This is Wisconsin running back Braylon Allen, and I drive Holiday. What I've experienced from this team is honest and genuine care.
It's passionate fans that have earned Holiday top honors as Wisconsin's #1 Mazda dealer, its #1 Mazda certified pre-owned dealer, and the Badger State's only recipient of the prestigious Mazda President's Club Award. Find yours and discover the difference at Holiday Mazda in Fond du Lac and online at holidaymazda.com. It's worth the trip.
Need some activities to do this weekend? We've got you covered. This is What's on Tap.
I'm Sandy Maxx, Steve Scaffidi on WTMJ Now, and What's on Tap is a way for you to maximize your weekend, and it's brought to you by Milwaukee Downtown, bid number 21. Experience downtown in every sense. Go to MilwaukeeDowntown.com. You got music, theater, Gemütlichkeit in Germantown.
Well done.
And extra special access to explore the city. And if you like live music, I can highly recommend this. Oh. Yes? No. Perfect. Charlie, play that, Nathaniel. There you go. Charlie and I were trying to coordinate our music. You hear this?
Oh, there we go.
This is Nathaniel Rateliff and the Night Sweats. Going to be in town Friday night at the BMO Harris Pavilion on Milwaukee's lakefront. It is foot-stomping music. It is going to be good. This American band, they're a folk rock band, but they got a lot of soul, energy, and a horn section. And this song was big in 2015. I think a lot of people got to know them.
Before you said foot stomping, my foot was actually stomping on the floor.
See, it's
there
happening.
It's real.
And what a beautiful night for outdoor music in September. Just squeeze it in while you can, because Nathaniel Rateliff, good show, and brings a lot of raw emotion. It'll be a dynamic performance. It'll be fun. Now, we were just talking about Gary Sinise, and this is going to be a very special 3 performances. The Gary Sinise Foundation is bringing the powerful play Last Out, Elegy of a Green Beret to Milwaukee's Skylight Music Theater. 3 special performances, 1 Friday night and 2 on Saturday. And the play was written by retired Lieutenant Colonel Scan Ban, performed by a cast of combat veterans and military family members. And Colonel Mann spent 23 years in the military, including 18 of those years as a Green Beret. And he believes in the impact of storytelling as a way to help veterans as they return to civilian life and heal through the arts, which is part of the mission of the Gary Sinise Foundation. And this play tells a story based on a character named Danny Patton, who's an Army Green Beret who fought in Afghanistan, and his experiences coming back from the war. Everyone is invited to attend any of those 3 performances. Tickets are $25 and benefit the Gary Sinise Foundation. But you need to know this: military, active duty and veterans and their families, first responders and their families, and families of fallen heroes, all admitted free of charge to the performances.
Fill those seats. And to Gary Sinise, who joined us the other day, thanks for the great work that you do. I loved having that conversation with him.
And there will be talkbacks after those performances as well to help build understanding and community and process those stories. And it's September. That means it's Oktoberfest season.
Oh, yeah!
The Germantown Historical Society presents the annual Germantown Hundsrucker Oktoberfest. Saturday and Sunday in Dinesville Historic Park. You can see Ein Prosit while enjoying a pig roast and other authentic German food. Plus, there's a bake sale Over 40 dogs are signed up to race at the 2023 Dinesville Dachshund Dash.
Oh, someone's got to take video of that.
It's fun.
Share that video.
It's all going to benefit the Washington County Humane Society. That is Saturday afternoon at 3 o'clock. Rain or shine, you're going to hear live music, enjoy German dancing. Sunday also features a car show. And closer to town here in the city, you heard us talking about it before. It is Doors Open Milwaukee.
Yes, that was a great conversation earlier.
It's your turn to open a door and explore buildings you've never been in before. It's an annual event. There are over 130 buildings in Milwaukee that you may never get access to, except for this weekend, and it's absolutely free. You can explore on your own. They have a self-guided app tour. You can reserve a spot on a group tour or just stop in. Check out all the architectural and historical sites around the city.
Our buddy's right upstairs. Grafe.
Grafe here at the Avenue is one of the many places, and the Historic Milwaukee website has a complete list of all the Doors Open buildings and the specific hours. It's doorsopenmilwaukee.org. City Hall, churches, art galleries, firehouses, hotels, bars, TV stations like Milwaukee PBS, Stone Creek Coffee Factory, just some of your options. And they even have a bingo game that you can play as you explore, and you could win a neon light shaped like the Hone Bridge.
Everything about that is cool. Everything about that is cool.
Get all the details on all of these fine events at WTMJ.com on the What's on Tap page.
All right, well, we'll take a break. We'll walk it up to the Brewers. That's all coming up next on WTMJ Now.
Let my love open the door to your heart.
More of WTMJ Now after this.